half an hour. So we would like to begin. Welcome you all. Um, I'm A.K. Mathur from Lucknow Management Association, and I'm very happy to welcome you all for this workshop on creating industry champions through RAMP. Before we start the proceedings, let me introduce to you uh, what LMA is uh, for those who are not familiar with Lucknow Management Association. We are a Category 1 affiliate of All India Management Association. You see, All India Management Association has about 65 uh, local chapters across the country, and they have been divided into 4 categories according to the strength of the members. So those who are above 2,000 members, they are categorized as 1, and similarly 2, 3, and 4 categories. We organize a variety of management development programs, seminar, workshops, and some high impact interactions on public policy. About 250 odd programs in a year in multidisciplinary areas. We have an executive committee of 21 senior professionals, uh, currently headed by Mr. Manoj Singh, the Chief Secretary of UP. And uh, we have senior bureaucrats associated with us in various capacities and various programs. In fact, Lucknow Management Association was created by a very senior bureaucrat, Mr. T.N. Dhar, way back in 1976 during Narayan Dutt Tiwari's chief ministership. It was a small body, but it has now grown into a Category 1, over 2,000 members. And incidentally, I'm also happy to share with you that we have been rated number 2 in the country as a management association uh, by All India Management Association only last month. So that's some good news for us. And as I said, we organize a variety of programs on public policy. And in that connection, we, we decided to address issues relating to MSMEs because they are supposed to be the driving force of economy, not only in Uttar Pradesh, but across the country. And the first workshop which we held addressed the issue of delayed payment because that is one of very serious issues facing the industry, and the various working capital issues related to delayed payments. And large organizations, both in public and private sectors, they are using the working capital of MSMEs in their work. I mean, that is what uh, the various, literature says on this subject. So this is a serious issue, and we addressed this issue last month in a workshop. Some of you must have attended that workshop. The second one is, as you know, creating industry champions through RAMP. Now, RAMP, you must be knowing, it's a Government of India World Bank program, which UP has also decided to take up in a big way, in the sense that they are, you know, organizing programs across all 75 districts of Uttar Pradesh. And the government attaches a lot of importance. Now, we were expecting the MD of UPSIC to speak to us in the first session and tell you how you can leverage RAMP in upgrading your performance. Now, there's a lot of money there, and how you can leverage RAMP to improve your performance is something which he was supposed to talk to you. About 2 hours back, we received information that he is suffering from viral fever and he will not be able to make it. So I think we'll definitely miss, because we had we were expecting a lot of information as to how you can utilize the provisions of RAMP in various areas which we are going to discuss. And uh, uh, is the program available to you, the schedule? We have scheduled 5 sessions on different aspects, on productivity, on management, and on finance, and technology upgradation, and so on. So, skipping the first session of MDUPSIC, um, we have Mr. Rajesh Nigam for the first session now, and he is president of Karam Group of Industries. I would request Nigam Saab to kindly come on the dais. Well, I have a huge profile of Mr. Rajesh Nigam, but I would, most of you know Mr. Rajesh Nigam. So therefore, I'll not waste much of the time. And you see, he has started a small entrepreneur, and now he has reached a level where I don't know, he's best in India or Asia or in some areas in the world also. So there's a lot to learn from him. I mean, in various areas, whatever you are doing, you have a lot to learn from him. But I don't think there will be enough time for him to talk to you in all the areas, whether it is quality or it is productivity or anything else relating to industry. Because he has grown in the industry and he has taken it to a certain level. He has footprints across the world, sitting here in Lucknow. He is a B.Tech from IIT Kanpur and a postgraduate in MS from Mississippi State University, USA, and has been a driving force in the family's chemical trading business since 1992. I will really not like to read out his entire biodata, but today we have requested him to share his management expertise and how you can improve. Now, this being a management organization, I think we feel that every organization, big or small, needs managerial skills, and certainly with his, we could have had a professor of management from somewhere, IIM or anywhere. But I think the kind of knowledge which Rajesh Nigam can share with you would, would be more useful. And so I would request Nigam Saab to please take over. Would you like to sit there or come here? Let me first welcome him with the bouquet, which I forgot. Thank you, Renu. Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me at the back there? At the back? Can you hear me? All right. Thank you, Mr. Mathur, for my introduction. I wish I was even, if I were even 20% of what you explained to them, I would have been a very proud man. Thank you. Thank you very much anyways. All right. So I am not used to this computer. Let me see, because I'm used to working on an Apple. Before we deep dive into what he said, my management skills and all. So first of all, I am an engineer by education and by heart, more by my heart. I'm not a management expert. All I can do is, share some of the mistakes that I've made in my life, and something probably good which turned out good in the end. And so before we get into it, it's important for you to know what we are into. So I'm a co-founder of a company called Karam, and Karam is extensively into manufacturing of personal protective equipments which are used in industrial applications. So if you see the picture next, you would see a series of products. The first one is called the head protection, where we manufacture helmets for workers who are working in the industry, in the construction sites, mainly industrial safety helmet. Then we are into manufacturing of eye protection, all kinds of different protective goggles and chemical splash goggles, etc. Ear protection means ear muffs and ear plugs. You would see people using these equipment at the airports where there is a lot of sound above a particular decibel level. Face protection, we make welding, protection against welding, protection against chemical environment, so face protection equipments. Respiratory protection, now everybody knows what a mask is. So we are into disposables as well as reusable masks, all manufactured by us. Then we are into manufacturing of gloves of all kinds. So this is one company that we just acquired 4 months ago. They were the best in the country on gloves, and we acquired them just 4 months ago. So this is one of the recent additions in our line. Without doing any hard work, we could get to be there. So I would emphasize now on our next business, which is fall protection, which is what Karam is known across the globe for. So here the job of our company is to prevent a worker who is working at a height from falling. Can I get something underneath this, please? Excuse me for my height. That's a better idea. Thank you. So in fall protection, our job is mainly to prevent a worker who is working at a height from falling. And this was the key area where we started this business from. It was a niche 27 years ago. There were no manufacturers of fall protection equipment in the country. There were, but I mean, not up to the mark, very poor quality and stuff. So that's where we saw opportunity, and we jumped into this. Besides that, we are also into manufacturing of safety shoes, foot protection, and then certain engineering solutions, which nowadays you see on the airports and on the big sheds where people have to go up and work. So to allow them to work safely at height, we make engineering systems which are installed on the roofs of sheds. So precisely, in fact, we are into, if I put it straight, we are into the business of saving lives of people. And we are really proud of that. Just to get you an idea of our footprint across the globe, we are present in more than 100 countries with our own brands. We, unlike other exporters, we don't manufacture for other brands. Generally, export business means that manufacturer having lower cost in India is producing for a brand in Europe or America. That's not what we do. We have our own companies, our own brands all across the globe, and we only produce for them, and we have our own sales offices there. So by and large, we are more than 100 countries, and 4,400 plus is the team size. And this team size consists of about 10 plus nationalities across the globe. This is how we are placed brand-wise. People know us in India with a Karam brand only because here we are present with a Karam brand. But we are actually owning 3 brands which exist across the globe. So if I go with the map, in North America, we have a brand called K-Strong. South America, again K-Strong. Europe, we have a brand called Kratos Safety. Karam in Africa, Karam in Middle East, Karam in India, and K-Strong Singapore for the Southeast Asia. So apart from China and Russia, we are present across the globe in all the continents. And Russia also, you can find our goods, but we have a distributor arrangement over there. We have a master distributor who distributes for us. So that's a long story, I won't get into it. We had almost acquired a company in China, and we had signed the shareholders agreement in the evening. Unfortunately, in the morning, we had to tear it out. I'll not get into the details. So a quick recap on our manufacturing facilities. We are known across the globe for a fully backward integrated plant in fall protection manufacturing. And this is how we are placed. We have 4 units in Lucknow in Amosi. Some of you have been and visited our plant, and thank you so much. Then we have a plant in Sandila, which is about 10 acres in terms of area. We have a plant in Sitarganj, that is Uttarakhand. This is about 25 acres of land, a big plant where a lot of different varieties of products for domestic market are being produced. And then adding this Coimbatore, which was our recent acquisition, and now we are adding another 10 acres of big plant in Coimbatore to mitigate risk and make sure that, we are present all across the Indian subcontinent. Besides this, we do have some manufacturing in overseas. So, but these are very small units compared to what we do in India, because the kind of leverage of lower cost labor that we get in India is unmatchable and unparalleled. So wherever, like Brazil, we have a plant in South Africa, we have in Dubai. These are all strategic manufacturing points where, you had to be there because there are certain products which have very high import duties when you import into Brazil or South Africa. So it's like you have to go and produce there. That's the only way you can survive. So this is how our journey. We are a 27-year-old young company, I would say. I'm one of the founders, and I still feel I'm just 40 years old. We started in 1997, and we have taken the full journey of being a small-scale enterprise to a medium scale and now to a large scale. We closed at about 1,100 crore turnover last year, and this year we are aiming at 1,450 crores, which we are right on track. So a growth of 40% is what we are looking at this year. So because I have traveled this entire journey of, from a startup to a small-scale enterprise to a medium scale and large, I again insist I'm not a management expert, but as Mr. Mathur said, but all I can do is share my experiences, my learnings, my mistakes with you, and I hope it works. All right, so now I come to the main point, improving management bandwidth for growth. This is the topic on which I'm supposed to speak. And I personally feel that this is one of the most important aspect that any entrepreneur, any startup, or even when you are in the middle stages of growth, there's something wrong? So I'm a very firm believer that unless and until one has a realization in his mind and he's mindful of anything that he has to do, he cannot get the result. So I'll put it in simple words. Most of us sitting over here are entrepreneurs. This side particularly, I can see young entrepreneurs. So we have to be very mindful throughout our journey of entrepreneurship that we have some set of skills with us which made us an entrepreneur. The first one, of course, is the entrepreneurial skill itself. And then there could be some additional skill. Like in my case, engineering has been a passion for me right from my education days, even from my school days. So throughout my journey of 27 years, my core focus was always my engineering, where I was involved with my team in developing new products, innovative products, inventions. We've got number of IPRs. I don't have the number right now to tell you. So my key focus, with changes happening in 27 years in business, my key focus was always there on my engineering, because one thing which was clear, that it is because of this engineering that I am in business. So I have to make sure that I maintain my focus on that and try to delegate all the other things. I mean, I'm sure here there would be people who are startups, and no shame, when you start a business, you are the production manager, you are the quality control manager, you are the purchase manager, you are the finance manager, you have to do everything. Even I have done it. So there's absolutely no shame, because you don't have the resources to hire the right people. But what I'm trying to emphasize is here that realization in our minds at all stages of growth, if it is there, look, this is what is going to grow my business, and I have that skill. I have a skill to develop more businesses. So my concentration has to be there. As things come, as resources come up, I will need to delegate and get out of all this. So unless and until we have a realization of what we are good at, which is adding value to our business, and we have to maintain to have our focus on that, we will not be able to get the desired bandwidth for growth. And then, most important thing, this I learned by a lot of mistakes, is the importance of time management. So I think the formula is simple how it works. We all have 8 hours of good working, I would say. मुझे नहीं पता जो लोग 11 घंटे 12 घंटे काम करते हैं उसमें कितना प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स होते होंगे उन 11-12 में. But 8 hours is a real good productive time when you can really give in everything. So we have to make sure that that particular time that has been given to us is then actually spent only in business and not into anything else. This is a very honest submission. So I still remember an example. When we started this business, we had a very small manufacturing facility in an industrial area called Talkatora Industrial Area, which is about 7,200 square feet. वो पूरे इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया में बहुत सारे छोटे छोटे प्लॉट्स हैं, 7,000, 6,000, और you don't find very big industries over there. So we were one of them. And in fact, we had just started about one year and all. So those were the making stages of business, and time was the biggest crunch at that time. And one fine day in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, I get a call from one of my colleagues who's having a factory about 4 or 5 units away. Hello, Rajesh. And he met me at the association's meeting. I just wanted to meet you. Can I come down for a coffee? मैं most welcome. मैं साहब कोई 3-1 बजे का टाइम था, मैंने उनको बुला लिया out of courtesy. मैं कहा, let's have a coffee together. So in my mind, I thought he has some purpose behind me coming to meet me, or something that he's probably looking for. तो साहब कॉफ़ी पी हमने, उसके बाद और भाई कैसे हैं, क्या है, और I won't mention the name, Mr. X, कैसे हैं वो साहब 3 बजा, 3:15 बजा, 3:30 बजा, 3:45 बजा, 4 बजा, and this man is not, I mean, he doesn't want to go back home. So it was like a shock to me कि यार ये यार इंडस्ट्री चला रहे हैं यार, ये तो आए थे मेरे से दिन में गप्पे मारने के लिए apparently. So I have one of my friends who is now a part of our company, who also had a factory over there, which he wound up and he joined Karam. So I called him up, and he was a professional. He used to work in Saudi Arabia. Then he came and took over his father's business. So I called him up. मैं कहा भाई यार ये क्या यार, वो आया, वो 1.5 घंटा मेरा खराब करके चला गया, वो कोई काम ही नहीं था उसको तो देन ही टोल्ड मी कि बॉस यहाँ ऐसा ही है, हम लोग दिन में ना फ्री होते हैं तो 2-3 लोग इकट्ठा हो जाते हैं, किसी सेल टैक्स ऑफिसर की बुराई कर रहे होते हैं, किसी एक्साइज वाले की बुराई कर रहे होते हैं, और टाइम पास हो जाता है. So I mean that was something which came to me as a big surprise. Ki, I mean this is my work time. How can I compromise on that? So I personally feel when you are in business, give it to the business. That's it. And then punctuality, which is very, very important for us to be a successful businessman. So again, I have an example which happened just about 15-20 days ago. In my office, I have my meeting slots. I normally put a slot of 1 hour maximum, sometimes less than that. And accordingly, the meetings are distributed. So my day is timed very well till 4 o'clock. After 4, I have my internal meeting with the company, which happens every day if I'm in Lucknow. So this, I'll again not take the name, this is a bank who wanted to meet me, and I gave them a slot of 3 o'clock, 3 to 4. 3 बजा और मैं खाली होके साहब घड़ी देख रहा हूँ कब आएंगे. I asked my assistant outside, कहाँ हैं ये लोग? सर अभी no news. 3 से 3:15 बजा, 3:30 बजा, 3:45 बजा, and I mean they are nowhere to be seen. और कोई communication भी नहीं. So by 3:45 I called my internal team. मैं कहा 15 मिनट में मीटिंग होनी भी नहीं तो कोई फायदा नहीं है इनसे करने का. Then suddenly my secretary jumps into my office. सर वो तो बहुत बड़ी टीम आई आपसे मिलने के लिए, उनके कोई डायरेक्टर आए हुए हैं बॉम्बे से. बॉस कोई भी आया हुआ है. I'm sorry, I have lost my slot now. Let them fix up the meeting again and come. So I know it was a bit rude, but that's something that all of us need to learn in life, not only in business but otherwise in every aspect. I mean, we have to respect time if we want time to respect us. So as I mentioned, when you start a business, you are doing everything all on your own. You are, master of none but jack of all. And this is where I've seen most of the people fail, where they are not able to delegate their job to people over a period of time, and that's where their bandwidth gets consumed as much as possible. People came to know that this was not his quote, but he said, "I just put the right man in the right place."
Correct.
Now, this line has a big catch. Right man, first thing, then put in the right place. So, often in Karam we are so proud of the team that we have. We are so proud of the team that everywhere it is team, and nothing else. And sometimes a lot of my friends, my fellow industrialists, they ask me, यार लखनऊ में अच्छे आदमी कहाँ मिलते हैं यार? कोई बोलता है यार तुम बड़े किस्मत वाले हो यार, तुम्हें बहुत अच्छे लोग मिल जाते हैं. So I'm coming that to the first trap, right man. तो लखनऊ से अच्छे लोग नहीं मिल सकते आपको कहीं पर, because there are a lot of people in and around Lucknow who go outside to work in a place like Delhi or Bombay, or if I'm talking of engineering, maybe Pune or Aurangabad. Why? Because they don't find an opportunity over here. So what happens? Why do they perform well over there, and why is it that they don't perform over here? So, I mean, in my 27 years, when we started this factory in Lucknow itself, I mean, we've always got very good people. And there is a way, see, everybody, when he joins a company, he's been working in a different culture probably. Now, it's all on you how you are able to get him into your culture. So, this word right man, there is no right man in this world probably. You have to create that right man for that right place that you are trying to put him on to work. Right? That needs a bit of an effort. But I'm sure we are all human beings, and if we get the right treatment from our bosses, from our colleagues, from our juniors, there is absolutely no reason why, we can't.
And we are going to start the proceedings shortly.
Hello. So, again, in 27 years, what I learned, unless and until you have a good team with you, there is absolutely no way you can spare your bandwidth. क्योंकि मेरे पास सिर्फ 8 घंटे हैं, अगर मेरे पास 6 या 7, I don't believe in having more than 6 or 7 reportees under you. The delegation system that we have in our company is, if I am there, I'll have maximum 6 or 7 direct reportees. There are some indirect reportees who would off and on report to me, not report to me, come and talk to me or take some suggestion, that's it. But my direct day-to-day reportees would not be more than 6. 6 is a big number. Sometimes I try to restrict it to 5. So with those 5 people, I got the 8 hours of those 5 people. 8 into 5, 40. I had my own 8 hours, 48. Under them, I have a chain. So you can imagine, by delegation, how many hours of working you could very comfortably achieve by just sitting on your chairs and by working only 8 hours, not more than that. So generally, I've seen a lot of particularly medium scale industrialists, उनका सुबह से शाम तक फोन बजता रहता है साहब, वो 1 बजा फिर वो काटते हैं, फिर दूसरा बजा फिर वो कमरे के बाहर भाग जा रहे होते हैं. So I mean, it sometimes becomes very difficult कि यार ये बेचारा ये अपनी ग्रोथ की कब सोचेगा, जो आपने मुझे बोला बोलने के बारे में, बैंडविड्थ फॉर ग्रोथ. ये तो इसको एक कभी ट्रांसपोर्ट वाला भी फोन कर रहा है, कभी उसको उसका कोई कस्टमर भी फोन कर रहा है, कोई सप्लायर भी फोन कर रहा है. So I mean, when will he think of growth? He doesn't have the bandwidth for growth at all. So I think the main reason for that is that there was a time when they were supposed to delegate it, and they did not do that delegation. So the reason is that, you are where you were 10 years ago or maybe 15 years ago.
And if the delegation is right, probably attrition will be...
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. So end of the day, what I mean to say is that teamwork makes the dream work, actually. You cannot achieve your dreams, you cannot achieve where you want to go without a good team. So, like in our case, हमारा तो छोटा सा business है. Think about people like the Tatas and Ambanis. They have so many big plants across the globe. You think Mukesh Ambani would go and fly every day to those plants? How many years would have been passed since he went to his oil refinery? I don't know. So what? How is it working? It's all delegation. He has a team. Now, how does the delegation work? Delegation to हमने कर दिया था. I have all my respective 5-10 managers who are handling my different 10 areas. And then I leave them. चलो तुम लोग company चलाओ. Will it work? No. So Most important is a successful delegation. Delegation is one part of the game, but how to make it a successful delegation? So this is a very simple law in management. All of us must have read it. You assign responsibilities to the person and you give him a limit of an authority. Up to this point, you are free to take a decision. Unless and until you give him the decision-making power, the delegation is wrong. You cannot keep everything to yourself. At some point of time, you have to trust your people. And that depends how you are, building the person for that particular job. So once you've assigned him the responsibilities, give him the authority. Let him feel, in our factory, some of you have visited, all those shop floors different that you were saying, they are literally owned by the shop floor manager who is there. जो बेचारा हमारे लेवल में पता नहीं कहाँ नीचे 7वें 8वें टियर में आता होगा. But you go and talk to him. He will talk, this is my floor. And if sometimes he is in need of something which is not being sanctioned, he would communicate to his manager, you go and fight with sir for me today. He will come and fight with me. Sir, no, this is the need of the hour, we need it. So this is the level of ownership which I see in people in our company. मुझे कभी-कभी लगता है I am not the owner. वो बेचारे ज़्यादा मर रहे होते हैं, उनको ज़्यादा दर्द हो रहा होता है, कहीं नुकसान हो रहा होता है, तो उतना मुझे नहीं होता है. So, this is the key. Unless and until you give them the authority, give them the sense of ownership. And then most important, accountability. सब कुछ आपने अच्छा कर दिया. You got the right man in the right place. You gave him the responsibilities, you gave him the authorities. और उसके बाद अगर accountability आपकी strong नहीं है, you can't leave them free. There has to be a beautiful system of reporting. I get about 36 to 37 reports every day in the morning. And I have to just quickly go through my computer and maybe punch in 3 or 4 of those reports. I don't agree with this, let's discuss it today. Maybe 2 or 3 only out of those 36 reports. And that takes me almost about 45 minutes. इससे ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लगता मेरे को. But 45 मिनट में मुझे ये पता चल जाता है कि मेरी फैक्ट्री कौन से प्लांट में, सितारगंज में कौन सी मशीनरी खराब है, किसमें ब्रेकडाउन में चल रही है, कहाँ पर मेरे को एफिशिएंसी नहीं मिल रही है, कहाँ पर मेरे को ओई नहीं मिल रही है. All that comes to me in those 36-37 reports. Which plant is producing what is the amount of sale it did in terms of numbers. I'm fully abreast with all the data. So, name of the game, accountability. Unless and until they are accountable, and the accountability should be very strong and very robust. And, no discussions about this. All of us would agree. Using technology everywhere and anywhere as possible. Nowadays in communication also you've got beautiful tools. आपको अपनी 5-7 लोगों की core team के साथ meeting करनी है. You create a simple group on WhatsApp and you put a message, you get, within seconds it gets sorted. Rather than making phone calls, I strongly discourage talking on telephones in our company. And not only me, now my team is also like that. They would never make a phone call. Coimbatore, we have a plant, I'm telling you, which is the farthest from here. And I rarely talk to my vice president, technical over there. Maybe once in 15 days, max. And that too on a Sunday. 5 मिनट के लिए सुबह उसको पकड़ लिया बस. सबसे अच्छा टाइम होता है वो. So, there is so much of communication going on around throughout the day with emails, WhatsApp messages, that technology has taken us to a different level. किसी ज़माने में हम लोग कोई भी काम करना होता जहाज पकड़ के अमेरिका भाग जाते थे, यूरोप चले जाते थे. एक मीटिंग करने के लिए यहाँ से, एक बोर्ड मीटिंग करने के लिए क्या साहब यूएस जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि बोर्ड मीटिंग पर्सनली करनी होती थी, करके आ गए वापस. What did you do? you landed up losing 4 or 5 days. Now it is very, very easy. I mean, there's an important event going on in America for us, which is related to an acquisition again. And morning we have a 7:30 or 8 o'clock Zoom call with that team. And in the evening, क्योंकि टाइम डिफरेंस है 12 घंटे का, एक शाम को ऑफिस से आने के बाद 7:30 बजे हो जाती है. And we are completely in touch with each other without traveling. So, use of technology mainly to create that kind of bandwidth is the need of the hour again. And while I come to the end of my presentation, most of you would feel कि यार ये integrity और ethics का bandwidth से क्या लेना देना. जैसे ही मैंने स्क्रीन पे आया, आई एम सीइंग लॉट ऑफ पीपल स्माइलिंग देयर कि इंटीग्रिटी और एथिक्स का बैंडविड्थ से क्या लेना देना. सी, दिस इज समथिंग वेरी गुड which I learned in the very early ages when I just started the business from one of my mentors, I would say. अगर हम बिजनेस पूरी इंटीग्रिटी और पूरी एथिक्स के साथ करते हैं तो पहली बात, इट गिव्स अस पीस ऑफ माइंड. दूसरी बात, हम हर चीज डेलीगेट करने की पोजीशन में आ जाते हैं. अब बहुत सारे इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट हैं लखनऊ में, अगेन माय कोलीग्स, फ्रेंड्स, उनका आधे से ज्यादा टाइम तो जा रहा था 2 नंबर का हिसाब करने में. साहब, उसको बिना बिल का माल बेचा, यार उसको बिल दिया, उसको माल दिया, ये लिखाना, और वो कॉपी में लिख रहे हैं आधा कच्चा आधा पक्का. उनसे पूछो तो कहते ये कच्चा है ये पक्का है. So when I was into trading business, I'll be very honest, मैं कोई धर्मात्मा नहीं हूँ. I have done it, so I know. Your whole bandwidth goes into that. But when we created Karam, the first thing we were taught कि बॉस 1 रुपए का माल 2 नंबर का नहीं बेचना, एक भी माल बिना बिल का मत निकालना, ना बिना बिल का खरीदना, सारे टैक्स अपने टाइम से जमा करना, सारे ड्यूटीज. I mean, if you make a mistake, that's a different thing. But do business with full compliance, integrity and ethics and honesty. आपके पास इतनी ज्यादा बैंडविड्थ होगी कि जो आप वो 2 नंबर का चुलपुल से बचा रहे होगे, उससे कहीं ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिव आप सोच के कहीं ज्यादा प्रॉपर तरीके से कमा सकते हो. So this is why I always believe that, integrity and ethics is the main driver, which not only gives you that peace of mind that is required, but it also allows you extra time to grow your business, to think about, more positive things, ways of expanding it, rather than you sit home and keep calculating kacha pakka on your books. So with this, I need to thank all of you for so patiently hearing me. I think I've already crossed the time, but thank you very much, everyone, and I wish you all the best, everybody over here.
Inputs. And you see, one of the objectives of this seminar, which is, I think, mentioned there, it is not just to hear some lectures. It is to really make you think how you can move forward with this RAMP program. And at the end of the session, we have a feedback session, as you would see, and there's probably a form given in your folder, and we have a question answer session. Please ask as much as you can. We have allocated 5 minutes, but another 5 minutes will do. So there has to be some questions.
Sir, one question: where did you get this name Karam from?
Very interesting. So again, when we were in the making stages of the business, तब हम लोगों ने सोचा नहीं था कोई ब्रांड भी होना चाहिए. जब बिजनेस आदमी चालू करता है तो बोलता है यार किसी तरह इतना पैसा लाओ कि खाने को मिल जाए, कपड़े पहनने को मिल जाए अच्छे, छोटी सी गाड़ी आ जाए सेकंड हैंड, एंड everybody goes through that phase. So there is no magic in that. Over a period of time, we grew. I remember it all happened in my office only. We were a team of about 8 or 10 of us, and we were all putting our heads together कि अब हमें कोई brand भी बनाना चाहिए. How do the world recognize us? And in that team, there were about 40-50% of Muslims sitting, and 50% of us Hindus in that team. तो हमने, gradually we drove the point home, let's choose a brand which has some mythological meaning in Hinduism also and in Islam also. So that's how the word Karam came in. In Islam, Karam is like Allah ka Karam, upar wale ka Karam. And in Hinduism, Karam is hard work. So if you do all the hard work, uska Karam ho jata hai. That is how this brand came up.
एक चीज और मुझे कहनी है, आपने कहा कि you make only industrial safety equipments, right? नहीं, ठीक. But I remember when I got my eyes operated for cataract, first the right one and the second the left one at Prakash Netra Kendra, the goggles the black goggles which I was given by the hospital, which I had to use for some time to protect the eyes from dust, etc. So those were made by Karam, and I have two goggles lying in my house which are unused at the moment.
Yeah,
So this is something that was personal safety equipment, not industrial.
yeah, so there is, lot of, I would say, convergence between some products that can be used in personal safety as well as even healthcare. And since क्योंकि आपने ये जिक्र किया है, तो I would like to mention this over here. When COVID came in suddenly, so we used to make a chemical splash goggle, which is worn to prevent you're working in a chemical environment where there are chemical splashes. So we were the only people in the country who was making that goggle. और हम इंडस्ट्रियल एप्लीकेशन के लिए बनाते थे, लैब्स के लिए या केमिकल प्लांट्स के लिए जो यूजर्स करते थे. एंड वी हैड ऑल द सर्टिफिकेशन, यूरोपियन सर्टिफिकेशन, इंडियन सर्टिफिकेशन, अमेरिकन सर्टिफिकेशन ऑन दैट. एंड दैट वाज सडनली व्हेन HLL, आई डोंट रिमेंबर द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ HLL, they came up with a very big requirement कि साहब हमें ये गॉगल चाहिए for the doctors to wear during COVID, and there was no manufacturer. So I remember overnight the government of India helped us to open up our plant. लॉकडाउन जिस दिन हुआ उसी दिन हमारा प्लांट खुल गया था. तब तक सारी परमिशन HLL ने लेके हमें दे दी थी कि यू कैन ऑपरेट योर प्लांट. आई हैड ओनली वन सेट ऑफ मोल्ड्स बिकॉज वो मेरा 10-20-25 हज़ार पीस महीने का बिकता होगा. वो मुझे बोले साहब मेरे को 1 लाख रोज का चाहिए आपसे. So we made molds also along with producing at that time. So there is a lot of similarity where products can be used. Why I always I say industrial safety, because see, our core focus, our distribution business is not only about manufacturing. I mean, we can't give it that just by making a good product you become a big brand. There are a lot of things along with it. So the entire distribution channel that we have, the entire marketing force that we have, वो पूरा industrial पे उनका focus है. If I try to create another vertical, which I tried after COVID and I failed miserably, and then we closed it. So we hired a lot of people, across the country. कि मेडिकल में, then they said साहब हमारे पास 2 ही प्रोडक्ट हैं, गॉगल है और एक ये मास्क है. तो आपको उसी का कोई ऑफशूट मिल गया उस पीरियड का.
और एक चीज और फिर बताना चाहूंगा कि आपने जस्ट वन लास्ट थिंग कि आपने डेलीगेशन के अंडर में वन ऑफ द पॉइंट्स व्हिच यू मेंशनड वाज अथॉरिटी. तो आज तो जूम मीटिंग का जमाना है, तो हमारे IIM कलकत्ता 11th बैच 1976 बैच की हर महीने 1 घंटे की मीटिंग होती है. तो मैंने 20 साल पहले टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया में पढ़ा, तब आई वॉज नॉट कनेक्टेड विद क्लास फेलोज, कि इंदिरा नूई हु वाज
thinking, people who are at the helm of the affairs, when they get up in the morning, when they open their eyes, their mind starts ticking. Till the time they actually sleep. So I have my wife sitting with me, and sometimes, if she has to talk to me, she would ask me first, are you in a zone where I can talk to you or not? So I'm like sitting in my car and looking like this, and she's next to me. Can I talk something or not? थोड़ी देर के लिए छोड़ दे यार. So, I mean, that way, if you see, we work almost 24 minus 8, 14 आ गया वो number. 16. Yeah.
अभी तो आप 56, 57 की एज हो गया और नारायण मूर्ति की एज
70 plus.
तो you would also become a multi-billion dollar company. Why did that?
Thank you, sir. We'll try for that.
वर्कफोर्स कितना है वर्कमैन कैटेगरी में?
तो लखनऊ प्लांट में हमारे आई थिंक वी हैव अबाउट 2600 पीपल.
वर्कमैन.
Yeah, blue collared. Sitarganj has about 900 workers. Coimbatore has about 200 plus workers. Sandila has another 100 plus. बाकी वो दुबई वुबई वाले छोटे हैं 20 आदमी 25
So are
आदमी.
there unions, formal unions, or
No, I have been very lucky, sir, that
what I wanted
we
to
don't
know?
have a.
The way you've been speaking, I thought so.
No,
That
we
you'll
don't.
be with this kind of a fair working. There's no need to have a formal union.
So again, I come back to my old point of integrity and ethics over there.
Yeah.
A worker who is coming there to work in your factory, as long as you are doing justice to him, you are paying him everything as per law. Law ने बड़ा अच्छा बना रखा है provision हर चीज का.
Yeah.
आप ESI, EPF, bonus, ये वो सब कुछ अगर properly दे रहे होगे तो
बिल्कुल.
it normally is not a problem. ऐसा नहीं. I have also faced the labor problem in 2017.
Yeah.
And that was a tough one actually. We had to shut down the plant for 4 days. And that was one of the most difficult times of my life, I remember. And after doing everything and doing the corrective necessary and preventive, I realized that it was we who were at fault and not my workers.
Yeah.
My managers were at fault. I was at fault, let me accept it. And then we made some very strong systems in place so that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah. You're being fair to them.
Yes, and they are also fair to us.
Yeah. And you would have only a management committee in place of union.
Right.
Yeah.
There are a group of executives who
Yeah.
help them out wherever they are required.
It's a very, one of the, I think, yes.
Sir, I have a question. You said Lucknowites are very nice and you employ them. I really appreciate that. But being born in Lucknow and running some industries out here, do you have your internal training centers? How do you inculcate that skill level? I've seriously faced, he may be dedicated to you, but inculcating a level of skill takes a lot of time.
Yeah, so I truly agree with you. We have our own internal training sessions. In fact, on a quarterly basis, we monitor that also in our operations review meetings, where we have a compulsory number of hours of training that has to be imparted to a particular executive or even a blue-collar job guy in a quarter. And we make sure that we stick to it. तो कभी कभी ऐसा भी होता है कि ट्रेनिंग की उसको ज़रूरत नहीं होती है लेकिन फिर भी उसको कुछ और सिखाया जा रहा होता है या उसको मल्टी स्किलिंग सिखाई जाती है. सो नाउअडेज वी आर वर्किंग ऑन since last 2 years we started working and we are working on a multi skilling project where if I have a worker who is working in my stamping shop, tomorrow if I need him in my hot forging shop, how can I make sure that I can quickly shift him? तो मैं वहाँ से एक लड़का यहाँ लेके आ रहा हूँ, यहाँ से एक वहाँ, कोई बात नहीं, प्रोडक्टिविटी लॉस होगी, होने दो, let them get trained. Internal, mostly internal. Mostly external also we use, but most of them are internal trainers. Yeah.
मेरे ख्याल में आपके वहाँ attrition rate nearly zero होगा.
नहीं साहब, ब्लू कॉलर्ड में तो नियरली जीरो है. आई एग्री विद यू. ब्लू कॉलर्ड में भी है, ऐसा नहीं है.
नहीं, बहुत कम होगा.
हाँ, बहुत कम है कंपेयर टू अदर इंडस्ट्री स्टैंडर्ड्स. यस,
बहुत सी इंडस्ट्रीज में लोग जंप करते रहते हैं
राइट
फॉर लिटिल मनी.
राइट.
क्योंकि
So-
उनको वो नहीं मिलता है जो आपने थिक्स इंटीग्रिटी और तीसरा पॉइंट क्या था जो आपने
Right.
मेंशन किया, तो इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट नहीं फॉलो.
Right.
Coming to the point that you did trainings and everything, but are there moments when you have realized that it's better you get rid of this person?
That's a very unfortunate question, and yes, absolutely right.
It's very important
It's very, very
to
important.
get that confidence that
And
yes, many times.
I think that's the most difficult moment when things like this happen. And they been a part of your growth story, and you suddenly finding that you are not able to cope up, or is not able to live up to your expectations, and is not willing to change.
Gee.
So, साहब उस टाइम पे फिर it's a difficult decision, but we have to take a call. And my wife heads the HR. She being a lady, you could understand how difficult it is. But then I am the one who says, Kavita, take the sword and kill him. Please, please, please.
I'll just stand here.
She can better answer this question actually.
I'll speak it out, not to worry. I hope I'm audible. All right, thank you, sir. I'll just say about this particular point since you've spoken about this. One thing that I have learned over my last 25 years that I have been now with the organization, and a lot of HR that I have learned from Mr. Nikam himself. So, first and foremost, sir, it's very, very important to understand that sometimes people don't fail you as much as your process does. So, the most important part is to have a very robust system in place. The processes need to be defined because once you explain a written process to someone, it becomes very easy for that person to understand. And then he becomes better at that. That situation of asking that person to leave actually comes in when that person becomes very rigid, doesn't want to learn. But most often than not, 99% of our cases are where we have seen people want to learn, people want to make a difference. So I have never put a question mark on people. I've always questioned the process behind it. Was it explained to him? Was the deliverable explained to him? Was the timeline explained to him? Was it also explained to him that you will get the resources to do your work? Sometimes we've even faced a situation where a simple PowerPoint presentation did not come to us in time, and then when I probed a little, it was not the person's fault. It was probably because the the computer was not, it did not have the latest software. So I was working on an Apple. I could do it in 20 minutes. That person took at least 20 days to do it. So it was actually the software did not. So we need to understand. I feel inherently everybody is a good person. We just need to get ourselves into the shoes of that. Yeah.
What a great positive approach.
Command, centralized command and decentralized control. That is a very tricky thing. Now, if you assign a command to a person who is incompetent, uh, you will find a large communication gap, and you are totally misled by that person. Or control, if you are giving the control to a, as you said, regarding the authority, and the proper authority has not been given to the proper person, there's a saying, the person who is having the authority, they don't have a decision making power, or they don't want to do the decision making, or those who are having a decision making capability, they don't have the power. So that balance, how you manage.
All right, so I'll put a very simple example in front of you, which I think. So there are certain areas, where your downline managers, they try to use your shoulder to fire the gun. तो वो बोलते हैं यार कौन फचड़े में पड़े, बड़ी रेवेन्यू का इन्वॉल्वमेंट है इसमें, सर तो बैठे हैं, आओ चलो उनसे साइन करा लेते हैं चल के, राइट? So I mean, I'm giving you a very simple and a very small example. In our company, till about 3 years ago, my head of production, you see, we import a lot of raw materials. So, and import, is dependent upon so many things, so many delays, etc. So, off and on, he has to call the import shipment by air. Now, when you call it by air, the amount of freight you pay is much higher compared to, let's say, by ship, by sea. So, anytime when he had to import any shipment by air, sir, can you approve this, sir? $15,000. By sea, you would get it probably in $200. So at one point of time, I told him, Shashank, look, you are the production manager, man. It is your shot. You have to play it. You see, if your customer is being damaged, then we have to lift it by air. And if you think without lifting by air, you can still wait, although the material is delayed, your shipment should not be delayed to your customer. Then you can take a call. But फिर भी कुछ नहीं हुआ. So then, now here comes your answer. मैंने कहा बॉस पूरी बैलेंस शीट में जो हमारी सेल्स है इसका 0.00 इतना % तक पूरे साल में तुम लोग बायर इंपोर्ट कर सकते हो, खत्म. इससे ऊपर मत जाना, बस इससे ऊपर जाओगे तो मेरे पास आ जाना अप्रूवल लेने. साहब 2 साल में वो मैंने अगर 0.00x करा था तो 0.00x भी नहीं हुआ और ये प्रथा खत्म हो गई. So as he rightly said, you put it into the process and you have delegated. He is also very happy now. He knows I can fire the gun, still I touch that number of 0.0x. Done.
Well explained.
हेलो सर, एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन है आपसे और कविता मैम दोनों लोगों से. जैसा कि आपने कहा यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर, मैं उस स्टेज में हूँ जहाँ मुझे सही इंसान ढूंढ के सही जगह पर रखना है. तो अगर आप इंटरव्यू ले रहे हो किसी भी कैंडिडेट का, तो स्किल्स तो एक सेकेंडरी मैटर है, बट ऐसा क्या होता है कि हम सबसे पहले उस कैंडिडेट में ढूंढते हैं कि हमारे लिए वो सही जगह पर बैठ पाएगा या नहीं. सो इसका अगर जवाब आप दोनों मुझे कुछ दें तो मेरे लिए बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा.
ये सबसे ज्यादा इंटरव्यू लेती है, इन्हीं को दे देते हैं फोन.
श्योर सर, माय प्लेजर.
देखिए बड़ा टफ क्वेश्चन है ये, क्योंकि ये मैंने 27 साल 25 साल में सीखी के बाद सबसे पहले सर मैं ये देखती थी कि आई एक्चुअली पिक अप क्लास 10 एंड क्लास 12 के मार्क्स, एज बेसिक एज दैट. अगर किसी बच्चे के क्लास 10 में मार्क्स अच्छे हैं, क्लास 12 में क्या हुआ, कम क्यों हो गए, नीड टू हैव अ वैलिड रीज़न. क्योंकि देखिए क्लास 10 और क्लास 12 वो मार्क्स हैं जो आप बोर्ड के लिए कर रहे हो, ठीक है. सबसे ज़्यादा मेहनत ड्यूरिंग योर लाइफ टाइम, ड्यूरिंग योर स्टूडेंट टाइम, यू आर डूइंग एट दैट टाइम. अगर आपके अंदर वो चीज़ दिख जाती है कि यस यू हैव अ लिटिल फायर, यू हैव समथिंग, कहीं ना कहीं फायर आपको देखनी पड़ेगी. यू विल हैव टू फिगर इट आउट. अगर फायर है बंदे के अंदर तो आप उसको मोल्ड कर सकते हो अपने हिसाब से. देखो कोई बना बनाया नहीं मिलेगा आपको. Whom do we seek? We only seek a person who's ready to work hard for us, isn't it? And maximum working hard in our country has been for 10th and 12th. If I see a backstage kind of a thing, 40%, 45%, तो वो पहली स्क्रीनिंग में वो मेरे तक तो आता ही नहीं है. I think those little things. Sometimes even cricket खेलता है कि नहीं, you know he has to gel into a team. अगर उसकी हॉबी सिर्फ म्यूजिक सुनना है, ठीक है, कैड ऑपरेटर होगा चलेगा, डिजाइनर होगा उसके लिए चलो म्यूजिक ठीक है. बट इफ ही इज अ क्रिकेटर, आई नो ही इज प्लेड इन अ टीम एंड ही हैज टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ द टीम, आई कैन पुट माई गेम ऑन हिम, क्योंकि ही नोज हाउ टू टेक कमांड्स फ्रॉम हिज क्रिकेटिंग कैप्टन. गाली भी सुन लेगा जब वो कैच गिराएगा. That is it.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable thoughts with us on today topics. So now I will request as a Mr. Keshav Mathur, Vice President Lagu Udyog Bharti, to present token of love from both side LMA and Laghu Udyog Bharti to Mr. Rajesh Nigam. Please तालियां बजाए, इतनी शांति अच्छी नहीं लगती. Now we'll move to our next session. And CGM sir, SBI, Mr. Sharad Sandik sir with us. So I will request Sharad sir to please join us on the dais. I will request Mathu sir to please present bouquet to CGM sir and welcome him. Thank
I have great pleasure in welcoming Shri Sharad Chandor, Chief General Manager, State Bank of India, Lucknow Head Office. He assumed the charge of the CGM on 1st of January 2023. Prior to this, he was working as regional head CGM in the office of the regional head United Kingdom. He started his banking career in SBI as a probationary officer on the 1st of December 1988. And during the long course of his career, he has officially discharged various challenging responsibilities, including various branches, business branches in Nagpur, Raipur, various zonal offices, local head offices, Bhopal, Stress Assets Resolution Group, Mumbai. In addition to this, he has extensive experience of our corporate center and regional office, UK. You see, financing is a great problem, and it is actually a growth driver. And under RAMP, there are various schemes for MSMEs, and I think we will have the benefit of learning about various options. And mind you, there is a feedback point about what would you like to do in terms of financing to rise to the next level. That is something which is very important, and we would like to know from you. We can seek help of SBI in learning about more and more options which are possible. And with this, I welcome Mr. Chandak, CGM SBI, and will request him to make his presentation. Sir, will you come here or is okay?
Thank you, Mr. Mathur. Yeah, good evening. Yeah. Okay. So, no, after the presentation of Rajesh and Mrs. Nigam also, I think my life has become a little tougher, isn't it? And this is, huh? No, no. Okay, good. And I'm finding this is a mix of very young entrepreneurs or students, and then the very seasoned people also, and students of IIT and IIMs also. So again, it become very difficult. But I think no, means I have not brought any prepared PPT or something. What I will like to see that what are your questions, what are your, and then can I answer those questions? Correct? That will be the better way to go about it. So yeah, you can start, means any questions what you want about the banking or growth, finance. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Best way to save. Okay. Yeah. Hmm? Means where to save or how to save? How to save? Okay. No, no. I mean, no, no. But then, are you married man? Yeah. So your credit card and debit card should be with you only, and not with your wife. Then you can save. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot save. No. Yeah, that's why I'm saving. That's why I asking whether where to save or how to save. Yeah. Yeah. So see, when the banking started, so in those days, naturally, the saving bank was the used to be the primary account, and that is needed for the transactions for the retail customers, and for the commercial customers or businesses, it is a current account. Now, in the saving bank also, SBI also offered this option, and some more banks must be offering this option. That it is called as a MOD, multi-option deposit. So you can threshold some amount. So beyond that, suppose there is a balance in your saving bank account, it automatically shift to a fixed deposit, and you can draw interest on that fixed deposit. Means the fixed deposit interest rate you will get on that portion, and then it is so easy. This automatically happens, and when you want to withdraw the money, there is no need to give any application, etc. Even from ATM you can withdraw that money. Okay, so it remains in the saving bank, but you get the interest of fixed deposit. So this is the basics. Okay, I mean, otherwise you can keep the money in the fixed deposit. Now, no, after then, once you are having sufficient money, and naturally you want to invest in various options are there. So SBI offers the wealth services, wealth management, and many other banks are also offering the wealth management services. And then you are having a lot of options there. So then you will be having the dedicated relationship manager who can guide you where to invest depending upon your life. Where are you in the life cycle? What are your future plans? So based on that, then you can choose the whether you want to invest in mutual funds. See, when you start the financial planning, the first part should come the what is your minimum amount you should keep with you, isn't it? And how much amount you should keep for the emergency funds. That naturally you will be keeping in the saving bank. Then whether you are having the health insurance or not, because the health insurance is the necessity in today's world, correct? And more the corporates, hospitals, and these are coming. Yes, they are providing the good service, etc. But without the insurance, then it becomes very difficult. So health insurance is the very important part. Then actually the term insurance one should have. I will not recommend that one should go for the ULIP type of products. There is no need to go for those type of products, because there the premium is very high, and then your risk cover is comparatively on lower side. So one should not go for that. One should go for the term insurance, plain term insurance. After this, everything is there, and then still you want to invest the money. So then you can invest in mutual funds, you can invest into the direct equity and venture capital and so forth. It depends upon the risk, how much risk you are having and how much money you are having. So for that, naturally, then you should take the services of the wealth management team. And as I said, that SBI is also offering that service. Other banks are also offering those services. Who is your bank? And then you can, because then once you are, see, mutual fund is one part, but then if you want to invest into equity, so equity is a full-time job. Unfortunately, people think that, okay, no, read one article or taken some tips and then invested into this particular company or that particular company. No, it is very difficult. When the market is booming, then everyone thinks, okay, I have invested and see within few days it given 25%, 50%. But today when the Hyundai's IPO was listed, and many people have, so whatever the premium they were expecting through IPO, they have not got IPO, isn't it? They were premium. So it was in minus they has opened. So it is a full-time job. So it is better either we should be investing through mutual funds, or we should be taking help of the fund advisors. Correct?
These fund advisors, they lure us to a different spectrum altogether at times. इसमें invest करिए, इसमें invest करिए.
No, so see, basically then there will be always be the
Their personal benefit is more highlighted.
no.
It's
So
not
now,
like that.
No. So now the fund advisors are registered with SEBI. Okay, and one should be choosing such fund advisor only.
No, but generally they belong to different companies.
Correct. Yes. But what will happen that no, there will be agreement,
Okay.
and then you have to say that how much money you will require to pay them. There will be one fee portion, and one will be the profit sharing portion. So that is already predetermined. So there is no question that they can loot you. Okay. Now see what happened that once you have given some pool of money to fund manager, and now you are saying that okay, now suppose you say no, you have suggested this fund, but I don't want to invest into that. Then you should yourself handle your fund. Why you are choosing the fund manager?
True.
Isn't it? No, means something beforehand we should do whatever the due diligence we want to do on that fund manager or that company. Once we decided, then we have to have some faith on that company. And investing is a long-term game. So you cannot expect that immediately within 3 months, 6 months, every time you will be getting the good returns. It may not happen. Okay. And then in the fund manager also can be very aggressive funds. There can be conservative, there can be moderate. So depending upon our own risk appetite, we should choose the funds.
And PPF should go along with investment in PPF.
PPF, yes, it is a good option, but it is a 15 years block.
Yes.
Correct? So 15 years that money will remain blocked.
Yeah.
So not required.
you.
Basically in today's world that PPF is only the tax benefit advantage is there.
Yeah, so I have one question regarding this PPF. So now this IT new regime is there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this sweet spot was there for PPF that you will be getting this reduction in your 1.5 lakh whatever.
Yeah, ATC.
So ATC. So now it is no longer effective to anyone.
Correct.
So do you still recommend this PPF kind of thing?
No, so see, PPF there is one was the ATC. Another thing that whatever the interest you are getting on the PPF, it is also tax free.
Okay. So that is still there.
That is still there.
Okay.
That is still there.
And there is another important point. No court can attach.
Yeah.
No court can attach PPF funds at any point of time. That is also a very, very important point.
No, but till the time you are the defaulter, court will not attach. So,
No, but even if you are a defaulter, PPF cannot be touched by any court.
No, so I am not finding any defaulter here, so that's why I am saying that is not required. But then yes, that tax interest is very tax.
Sir, I'll shift it to industry, and that to small industry.
Yes.
Very interestingly, when I was 48, I tried to become an entrepreneur. And
Correct.
fortunately, God has been kind.
Yeah.
I decided to pick up an industry.
Mm-hmm.
That industry was not doing very well.
Yeah.
And that was one of those reasons I thought that if I take it, I might be able to turn it around.
Okay.
I took it along with a partner.
Correct.
We again worked upon, it was a dread. We spent 1 year, internal accruals we used. We went to various banks. The second year, they said that you've been in dread for 2 years, so we can't help you. Now, all through every newspaper, everywhere, we read, we see that the government, the banks, and everybody is talking of helping SMEs. Now, who needs help? Somebody who's in red.
Yeah.
And fortunately, that thing had become in red due to COVID, and thereafter, we had done some corrections wherein we had to pay heavy gratuity. So they were not working losses. These were some of those fixed kind of losses which created this. And now when we went to get some loans, there was nobody to support us because they said that you are in red.
Yeah.
Now, how would you answer this for a SME?
Okay, good. Very good question. So the definition of the banker is that no, bankers lend the umbrella when sun shines, and when they take back the umbrella when it is raining. Okay. No. So apart from the joke, see, I mean, since there is a change in management, and if you can prove yourself that yes, you will be able to revive that industry, then there are no reasons that why any banker should not come forward. See, ultimately you have to understand that what is the psyche of the banker, correct? So let us step into the shoes of the bankers. So there will be three C's. Normally the bankers will be looking into it. Yeah. One is the character of the promoters. Yeah. Second C, the capacity of the correct of the promoters, and the capital, how much they are putting into it. There are so many other factors are there, but basically these three C's are there. So suppose no, and this is for everybody whoever you want to initially start new business. So this is the primary requirement of the banker. So we have to naturally then we have to convince the bankers. Okay, yes, unless you are not a defaulter, suppose, correct? Now the CBIL reports and all those reports are there, but before that also there will to be the system to get the information about the promoters and how is their conduct in the market. I mean financial conduct basically. Yeah. So if there are no such negative seeds are there, okay, promoters are good. Then are they capable to run the unit? Correct. So because that always they will be afraid ki okay, even if he is good person, all those things are good, whether he will be able to run this particular unit, this particular business. Because if you are able to run the business, then only you will be able to repay the money. Isn't it? Yeah. And then third is the capital. Are you having some stake in the business? Skin in the game as they call. Correct? Because bankers have burned their fingers when the promoters have invested and taken out the money, and there is no skin in the game. Naturally, then the whole entire thing is the bankers of the public, and then such businesses normally fails. Correct. Now, in your particular case, even though I don't know the details of this case, see, you will require to convince them that okay, you will require some term loan to take care of those accumulated losses. There may be some liabilities may be there which you will not be able to repay immediately, correct? So some portion of term loan will require that you can so that over the period you can take care of those things, and working capital will require. These are the two things are required. But if you are able to uh, demonstrate that this business is viable, this particular business of failure was because of the promoters incapabilities or promoters inadequate capital, yeah, and those two things now you will be able to take care of. So line of activity is good, then okay, there is no problem in that case. The banker should come forward and then should sanction the loans. Yeah, that is the main thing. Because see what happened that many times the activity itself is such a thing which is not viable. If that economic activity is not viable or technically it is not feasible, then whether you are running or anybody else will running, no banker will come forward to sanction the loan. Or if there are suppose some issues with the maybe pollution control issues are there, or some government restrictions are there, naturally then it will be nobody will be will touch that business. Otherwise, see what is the basic activities of the bankers. Like he said that he will keep deposit with me. What I will do with that deposit? I have to lend to you. Otherwise, what I will do with that deposit? How I will repay him the deposit? How will I pay the interest from him if I am not lending to you? So that is basic activity. I think the bankers will, but you have to just will require to make them confident. Okay, you are capable enough to run that business. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I'm bringing some another paradigm to whatever you are talking about. So normally we as a bank to lend to the industry which are physical. What about like IT industries?
Yeah.
So you don't see something which we are buying except laptops and some softwares, and we are building software which nobody can see. And this is the problem actually we also faced when we started our business. And in fact, till now, except COVID period, we could not get any loan from any bank, including SBI.
Correct.
So this is the pain. I'm not sure that our approach is wrong or what, but you please guide us if anything we can do about that.
So that's true, correct? Because there is no physical assets are there, and another thing that what you are doing that I don't know, correct? So suppose you are preparing some software, or you are selling some software, or what services you are providing, that I don't know what you are doing. So then, as a banker, if I am not able to see the assets also, I don't know your activity also. So how to support that activity?
No, I beg to differ
Yeah.
here, because see, we will not go as a blank people there that will not be explaining anything. We will
No.
show all the documents, the invoices which
No,
we
no,
are
no.
making
What I
or
am saying
whatever.
that bankers will not be able to understand the activity which is in the system. Okay. And then for service industry, what will happen that what kind of funds you will require? For service industry, what funds you will require? Because loan will be given only for to some funding. Either you will be having some receivables, correct? Because see, there is no working capital is there here.
It is there because see, you need some time to develop one. See,
Ah.
you are actually confusing our industry from some service industry.
Yeah.
Where I mean we are doing some job for someone and
Correct.
then we are taking the
Correct, correct.
But here we are creating a product which generally in India people don't do. Okay, like I mean, I would
So-
not say like Microsoft or something. So Microsoft is a product; they are not selling the services. So we are also creating a product which takes time to develop, and then only you can market it. Then only people will be buying it, and then you will receive the fund.
Correct.
So to just take that,
Well, it is sort of a startup.
I mean, that time it was a startup, yes.
Yeah. So see what happened that naturally the risk is very high, because whether we don't know that product will be really will be having any market or not, correct? What will be the future of that thing? So such kind of activities are being financed through venture capital funds. Okay. So banks are also having their venture capital funds, or there will be some private partner players who are having their venture capital funds. So like we are having the SBI capital market. So SBI capital markets handle such kind of projects. And then we are having the venture capital funds also, where we give the so that will what happen that for such projects normally loans are not being given, normally we give the equity, so we become the equity partner, so then we know that what is happening there, and that way it is being financed. So, all the the startup units will be requiring the equity partners, not the loan partners immediately.
So that is a pain. Na? See, we
Yeah.
don't want to share our equity, and that is why we are going to the bank at first place.
See, intellectual property cannot be mortgaged. Okay, so I don't know what is happening in your mind and what so how you I
So,
will.
I mean, so this is what. The thought process is very simple. That for service industry
Let me
and
see.
especially the IT industry will not get the normal loans. This is what you are saying.
Yes.
Should I take this as an answer?
Well, if it is service industry, naturally, suppose you are providing services and for that you require the computers or some, then only I can give the loan for that, because I know that what is the service agreement is there and then what kind of services will provide. But for the startups, venture capital is the only solution. Yeah.
Sir, is it true that
Please carry on. You please carry on. So just a simple,
Yeah, Rajesh.
small question. Does SBI also have a product like a structured debt for acquisitions or
For
for an acquisition?
acquisition of the company, another
Yeah.
company.
Are you into structured debt also? I know you will not finance
No,
an
no,
acquisition
no,
in
no.
any case in the normal
So
way.
RBI doesn't permit to give loan for the acquisition in India.
I know.
Correct.
Yeah.
But yes,
Structured debt.
there are different products
Yeah.
which bank will not give you, but we can arrange through our SBI. Just I give the example of SBI capital markets. So NCDs can be raised for that.
Okay.
Correct. and through that you can go for the acquisition.
So per se, you don't have a product like that in your
RBI is
your
not allowing
portfolio.
us to give the loan
Right.
for the acquisition.
Right.
So there is no question of the product. It is not. It is a banned activity. I can say that in that case. Okay. And it was, see, I mean, in other geographies it is allowed. Okay. In other geographies it is clearly allowed. You can give the loan and people can acquire the
Europe
company.
and USA it is very easy. Yeah. Europe and all you can.
It is
easily
very
fetch
easy.
loan. Yeah.
Why it was not permitted in India? Because suppose I start doing that, means just go back to 30 years back or 40 years back, when very big business houses were there, yeah, and the majority of the loans were going to them. So if I give them loan, what they will do? They will take over all the small units. So how to safeguard the small units? So that's why the RBI said, no, we will not allow you to give loan for the acquisition. Otherwise, all these big sharks will take over all the small units, isn't it? Yeah, sharks, isn't it? They are sharp and shark, though both are them, no, isn't it? But see, in foreign geographies, since the market is so big and it is almost capitalist market, so they are allowing it.
No, but your other products, what you're talking about, your other arrangements which you have with the, I mean, their interest rates are amazingly high. You can't even think of money.
So venture capitals you are talking.
Venture में and structured debt में, that is why I was curious अगर बैंक
yeah.
का ही कोई product हो तो उससे अच्छा कुछ
Unfortunately, as of now, it is not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Sir,
true.
is it true that today banks or a manufacturing startup give loans without any collateral? Give loans without any collateral to people with IT and IIM background. Is that correct?
So for giving the loan, the IIT and IIM is not required, frankly speaking. But see, the CGTMSE cover is there and it is up to 2 crores now. So any loan up to 2 crores can be taken without any collaterals. Fees has to be paid for the CGTMSE guarantee, and then bankers also will be comfortable to give the loan under the CGTMSE cover. Okay, instead of taking some security. CGTMSE is corporate guarantee fund is there, okay, for MSME units, and up to 2 crores of loan can be given under this scheme.
You are discussing, you are saying you are giving loan.
Yeah.
The micro market, which is very big. एक कोई बंदा है, he has already invested 40-50 lakhs. I'm talking about micro industry. He has already invested 40-50 lakhs into the industry. उसमें उसका कच्चा भी होता है.
Okay.
हाँ नहीं तो
ठीक है.
होता है.
ठीक है.
वो उसकी बीवी की उसकी household savings anything XYZ, everything is invested.
Yeah.
When he goes to bank, what does the bank say first? Show me your balance sheet.
Yeah.
The person is starting a business. Balance sheet उस बेचारे के पास नहीं होगी. Then get me a collateral. You're talking about TSME. I was with that for around 10 years.
Yeah.
अब उसमें वो बेचारे को, I'm not talking about SBI.
ठीक है, any bank.
No
problem.
वो उसको demoralize करेगा कि साहब इसका rate of interest is 14%. You bring a collateral, we will be giving you 9%, 9.5%, 10%. So वो वहाँ पे confuse हो गया. अब उस बेचारे को कहीं से भी collateral, वो उसका इकलौता घर होगा, वो उसको भी लाके mortgage करेगा. छत mortgage करना बड़ी कष्टदायक चीज होगी, बड़ी मुश्किल से बनती है. यहाँ पे bankers, I would say 10% of the bankers would support. 90%, I am giving you an example. मैंने एक कंपनी का टेक ओवर किया 2004 में. वो till 1990 it was operational. उसके बाद वो बंद हो गई, 15 साल बंद रही. बैलेंस शीट्स फाइल होती हैं, कंपनी है, कंपनी की बैलेंस शीट्स को यू कांट जस्ट कि साहब नहीं करी चलो चल जाएगा. अब जब उसमें लॉसेस देखेंगे, accounting losses आएंगे, you have kept professionals, you are giving, okay, you are not giving salary to director and XYZ, but some basic expenses will be there in a private limited company.
Yep.
अब उसको मैंने take over किया, I have to start it.
Yeah.
मैंने उसको start करने के लिए जो मेरे पास था उसको infuse किया, टेक ओवर को इन्फ्यूज़ किया. सो मैंने 100 रुपये इन्फ्यूज़ किए, 50 मेरे दिखे, 50 नहीं दिखे. So now I needed another 100. I had LOIs, I had work orders of government, not कोई private purchase orders नहीं थे. Letter of intent थे, sanction थे government. The bank, a big nationalized bank, third or fourth in your category. No, we are not going to. Then I had to go to the head office. Then they said, okay, you can infuse equity this way, then only we'll do that. So I had to infuse equity by just by names. There was no infusion of actual में नहीं था. तो there are problems where मैं अपनी कहानी प्रॉब्लम क्या है, बैंकर्स आपको बुरा मत मानिएगा, लेमन लैंग्वेज में बोलूंगा, आर लाइक जमींदार्स. They just want to keep themselves safe. They want that their money should be in their pocket if anything XYZ happens. They never support. अभी एक सज्जन ने बोला था कि क्या नाम है, लॉसेस हो गए, कुछ हो गए, तो बैंक केशव सर ने बोला था कि रेड में आ गई थी इंडस्ट्रीज रेड में आती हैं. ये हम लोग जितने बैठे हैं, वी आर नॉट पर्सन्स हु रन अवे. हम 4,000 10,000 करोड़ लोन नहीं लेते. हम लोग लोन लेंगे 2 करोड़ 5 करोड़ 10 करोड़, बहुत हाइयर साइड पे. उसके बाद तो मैक्रो और बड़े लेवल पे आ जाएंगे, उससे तो हट ही जाएंगे. वहाँ उस लेवल पे बैंकर सपोर्ट नहीं करते. ये एक डिलेमा है जो हम लोग मेरे ख्याल से वी ऑल आर फेसिंग डे टू डे. इसका कोई आपके पास सॉल्यूशन?
Yeah. So see, 2000, you are talking about 2004. So in those days, the CGT MSC cover was not in a big way. Now it has become 2 crores. Okay, one thing. Issue is that, see, what happened now, the bankers are is there. So to handle such situation, naturally the banks have created the specialized cells in the banking who are dealing with the industries in and out. So if you are happen to such cell, then your life is quite easy, because they know that what kind of problems the industries are facing. But if you go to general branch, they may not be knowing anything out of that. One thing. Second part, the kacha pakka, naturally the bankers cannot take on that. No, so the bank cannot be will be able to help out of that thing. But nowadays CGT MSC is quite easy. And suppose some bankers is saying that, okay, instead of CGT MSC, I want the collateral. Then I think he is not a prudent banker. Because see, my job.
They always ask for
let me complete.
collateral.
No, that's why my job is not to recover the money from the collateral. I always tell my people, this is not my bank. As a banker, this is not my role. My role is to earn money, recover the money from the business. So business should run first. That should be my topmost priority. And then if CGTMSC claim is there, that if it is a guarantee is there, it is very easy to recover the money. Whatever the claim, 75%, whatever they will give to me, correct. So there is no need to go, and because the security is there, it can be erosion over the period of the security, selling the security is very difficult. All these practical problems are there. But yes, I mean, naturally then the human beings are human beings, isn't it? So people don't understand many times. Like in SBI, what happened that for this type of problems are there. So we have created different cells. So we are having the project finance strategic business unit. So it is only one in Pan India. It deals with a very big projects, big infra projects or big industrial projects. because they know that how to handle the big infra projects. So there is some specialization there. So we are having that kind of thing. Then we are having the CCG, Credit Corporate Group, the Corporate Credit Group, which handles 50 crores and above advances. Loans, I mean 50 crores loan is required, so my project will be much more bigger size. So they know that what kind of problems such mid corporate groups are facing. So we are having such specialized branches for them. Then we are having the SME branches. So there we deal with the advances from 50 lakhs and above up to the next level. Then we are having the SME centers. Like for big centers, we are having this for handling the micro and SME business. We are having the SME centers where the branch is not viable or there is no scope is for sale. So this type of segmentation is there to handle the different activities. And I have fortunate enough to work in the most of times in advances, means the credit loans only, both giving the loans and then recovering also, because I was in the stress asset resolution group also. And we support many times such kind of acquisitions or such kind of structuring, restructuring within the permissible norms, especially when you are in the stress asset resolution group. So we have done so many acquisition, means help the people, because it is already sick industry. Somebody is taking that industry. It is a loss making. Somebody is taking that industry. We can give the loan based on the promoters, new promoters. So in this particular case, we are saying that 2004 you acquired that loan, and it is a loss making unit, isn't it? It will be loss making unit.
It was not running. It was basically not running, which the unit
Yeah, so it was
not running.
It was not trading. It was loss making unit. Naturally, then now the bankers has to see that what is the future for this particular industry or particular business. So banker has to understand the future of that industry. Now the new promoters have come in, whether they are capable enough, how they are going to run that unit. Definitely the loan should be given to this unit.
रनिंग में भी दिक्कत आती है.
Huh?
To Aircel, I'm talking about the telecom company Aircel. It went down in some X date.
Yeah.
In 2016,
Yeah.
17, I think. So I'm basically working for telecoms only, and Aircel was my best wife. 90% of my business was coming from them. One good day, Supreme Court says, okay, no, you're not doing the business.
Yeah.
The entire inventory lying in my place becomes dead.
Yeah.
The bankers know that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. The balance sheet of the company is good. Within 4 months, 5 months, they dragged me to sell a property to quit that loan, CC limit. So there are problems with bankers, and these are big nationalized bankers. I don't work with, after 2016, I shifted down to a private bank. Otherwise, I was working with nationalized banks since 2000.
Okay.
So these problems are there.
So there are
Basically, they want to be safe. That's my...
Means I think I will differ here, correct with you, because if you see the private banks and when you comparing the private bank and public sector banks, so all these small scale industries of yesteryears were supported only by public sector banks, not by the private sector banks, correct? When they came in around 2002-04, all these private new age public sector banks came. Have they supported any industrial unit initially?
No.
No.
Can't say that.
No.
Because I was 52
if you see the biggest private sector banks, no, I will not name the biggest private sector banks in India. No, just 4 or 5 years back, up to 4 or 5 years back, they were never used to touch any greenfield projects or brownfield projects. Once the project is ready, then they will come to you. Hey, State Bank, you are giving State Bank 11%, I am giving 9%. And now project is there. Now there is no risk.
Correct.
So this has to be understood. This has to be understood. No, then it is very smooth, no? Isn't it? Then it is very smooth. But the human beings are human beings, okay? Means I am not saying that all public sector banks and in SBI also all officers are very equally good. No, it is not there. Because human element is already there.
True.
Always there will be human element. So that's why I am saying that such specialized cells have been created in the bank. So those are able to address those things, which wherever we can address those things, correct? So intent of the promoters is more important. When the bankers see the okay, this particular promoter is having a good intent and capacity is there, capability is there, means bankers are giving the loans. Yeah.
So just to add to your point, I think it's a brilliant point about the intent of the promoter, because I've lived through this journey.
Yeah.
I would like to just talk about the 28 years ago, 27 years ago. I remember Mr. Nigam actually come to me and tell me that, Kavita, if I'm going to earn 100 rupees, I remember the maths because I'm a very poor person.
Confidence to the banker that there is value in what I am going to do and I am going to create value, and at the same time make sure that you also get value in form of interest, as he rightly said, because their job, I mean their business is to make money out of business, right?
Yeah.
Money out of money. So if they don't lend the money, तो ये तो होंगे ही नहीं यहाँ पे फिर, right? So exactly same situation came with me. It was my second year of business. We are in the second year. My first year balance sheet showed a turnover of 21 lakhs with some loss in it. And I went to my bankers, Oriental Bank of Commerce, Aminabad. And वो ये क्या है इसमें liquidity crunch, and he took 5-6 financial big terms. मैं इंजीनियर आदमी साहब समझता ही नहीं था कुछ. मैं कहा यार ये क्या बता रहे हैं यार. तो देन आई कॉल्ड अप माई चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट. मैंने कहा बॉस मेरे हाथ में एक रिलायंस का ऑर्डर है 56 लाख रुपए का. मेरी टर्नओवर 20 लाख की थी लास्ट ईयर, 21 लाख की. एंड आई हैव अ बिग ऑर्डर फ्रॉम रिलायंस पेट्रोलियम लिमिटेड जब जामनगर रिफाइनरी बन रही थी सेफ्टी बेल्ट्स की. And I don't have the money to buy the raw material. And they are saying the moment you start supplying, we'll issue you another order in next 2 months. So I'm nowhere. Either I will perish or I will survive. So he called up some manager of Union Bank of India, Aminabad branch again. And Mr. Tripathi, I still remember that good day of my life. I go and sit in his office and I explain him what I'm doing, and look sir, I'm making these kind of safety belts which protect a worker who is working. And he's like interested. Then he talks about my education and everything. मैंने कहा साहब ये है मेरी बैलेंस शीट. अब कोई कहता है इसमें लिक्विडिटी क्रंच है, कोई कहता है कौन सा क्रंच है. I am not an accounts guy, I'm not a finance guy. So my problem is, if I don't get this, I need at least 25 lakh rupees immediately to go and buy my raw material, because मेरी इतनी स्टैंडिंग ही नहीं मार्केट में मेरे को क्रेडिट दे दे. I had to buy my raw material, and at that time I had to buy everything cash, right? So if I don't get this 25 lakh, I will lose this big opportunity in my life, which I will not get again. And अब मैं उनका exact dialogue आपको बता रहा हूँ. Mr. Tripathi, he's a name in banking, Union Bank. Yeah, retired of course. ये मिस्टर निगम है, इनका अकाउंट खुलवाओ इनकी कंपनी का, और कल सुबह इनके अकाउंट में 25 लाख रुपए की क्लियर ओडी कर देना. क्लियर ओडी कर देना, और बाकी कागज पत्रे बनते रहेंगे. And he was some man like you. और वो 25 लाख से मेरी नाव साहब चल पड़ी फर्स्ट क्लास.
मैं इन त्रिपाठी जी को जानता हूँ, पर्सनली जानता हूँ.
You see, what happened that banking has changed, no? Banking has changed over the period. So earlier, we used to give lot of importance to the person behind the project. But over the period, many persons have duped the banks. Correct? Yeah.
सही है, बिल्कुल सही है.
So now what happened that you have taken a call and somebody has duped the bank, and then individual the accountability starts. I said no, that's how investigation happens, and then what, no, why, then at least if you have paper, then you can say, okay, based on these papers I have taken the call, not be on the based on the persons. So that is a change completely. The system has changed. Like this 25 lakhs OD, what Rajesh has said. Now it will be very difficult because now the CBS is there, and without this in the CBS everything should be there in the recorded. Correct? I mean, myself has given the loan, checks to purchase some truck and all those things. We know that the promoter is going to sign the document by the evening. Okay, you take and then you come by evening, no problem, we will give that. Now it is not possible. So banking has changed. But that Supreme Court judgment, what you are referring, during the same period, the one Supreme Court judgment came for the deallocation of the coal blocks. Correct? Now you cannot criticize the Supreme Court, correct? No. I'm not. I cannot criticize. Okay, you can criticize. Okay? No, but see how much havoc that judgment has created. How much havoc that judgment has created that on the coal blocks, and how many industries have suffered hugely. Steel industries, many metal industries, coal industry, power industry, and who are the ultimate sufferer? Promoters naturally, but the bankers.
Would you agree? There are two questions. Would you agree that for a person who is doing personal investment, safety, liquidity, and return in the same order
Okay.
are the most important factors? First is the safety of his money, and then liquidity, because if I'm investing 10 lakhs or 10,000 for that matter, and suddenly if I need, how liquid that 10,000 is, and then return is the last criteria. This is one. And the second thing is that would you agree that amongst all asset classes for a personal investor, equity is the best form of investment? Would you agree with this?
Okay. Yeah. So let me answer you the second question. So now the thought process which has emerged, all the financial advisors, so they will say that okay, even if you are a retired person, even then you should put some portion of your savings in equity, because equity is the only instrument which beats the inflation. Okay. So if you, and then actually then no, because if you are keeping the money in the only suppose equity means equity, direct equity or mutual fund, both are equity, because debt will give the only rate of interest which is equal to inflation or little bit of higher or lower.
Correct.
Depends upon that. Correct. So you have to put some portion in equity. How much? Yes, that will depend. Now that comes to the first part, safety, liquidity, and then so it depends upon the life cycle,
Correct.
or at
Correct.
what stage you are in your life.
Yes,
Correct?
very much.
So for a retired person, suppose it is 30% of equity is sufficient. Not more than that, one should not be venturing into it, isn't it? And when you are putting money in the equity, naturally then you have to ensure that you are not requiring that money in next 3 years at least. There can be big shock, like 2008, market went down by more than 60%.
Yes.
And if you require that money in next 2-3 years, it will be very difficult to recover that money. So liquidity, that you have to assess. So there is
Yes,
no
yes, very
straight
correct.
jacket answer. But yes, equity is now very much critical. It is required.
Yes.
I think that would be the last question.
Sir, I happened to meet you in the meeting of the Empowered Committee.
Yeah. Okay. In
SMS
RBI.
RBI.
Yeah.
So this gentleman raised a very valid point, and he has spoken about the what do you call the ground reality.
Yes.
About the collateral-free loan scheme. When a borrower goes, so he doesn't probably get a loan because of one reason or the other. If you remember, sir, the collateral-free loan scheme was, it was launched by the government just to overcome the fear of the bankers about their security-based funding or loaning.
Yeah.
Security based, because they said no, we want young entrepreneurs to come up, and so that if there's a youngster whose father doesn't have any means to show that I have got a big land and he has come out of the university, he wants to put up a unit, or he's an engineer, as Mr. Nigam said, so he has no collateral to offer. So we want those people to put up units and become entrepreneurs. That is why probably the scheme was launched. But if you see on the ground, there are very few people who can get this sort of a loan. Because I happen to attend all these meetings. If you remember, it's a very funny situation. All the bankers come up and they say, during this year, we have, given advances worth crores of rupees. And all the applications which were received by the bank, 98% of those applications were, given loans. So that was a very funny, because I think they lodge the applications only when they are passed, when they are, fit for sanction of the loan. Then they treat that the application has come. And if they reject, they probably don't record those applications.
Yeah. So see, always there is a escalation matrix, mechanism is there. No? Always there will be escalation mechanism is there. So suppose...
So sir, actually, I'm only talking about the essence of the scheme.
No.
The essence of the scheme is that you have to, promote those entrepreneurs who do not have any collateral to offer.
Yes, I fully agree with you. And I'm saying that there is always a escalation mechanism is there. Suppose the field officer is not understanding, one should meet the branch manager. One should there, and then the regional manager is there. If you are not able to meet, you can just send a letter. I'm giving this message to all of you. You can just send a letter, saying that, okay, no, I don't have the collateral to offer me, and this scheme is there. Why it cannot be covered under the scheme? Means bank internal mechanism, I'm saying that so much of mechanism is there, and then all complaints, when it comes to my office, I'm going through those complaints, each and every complaint. That is 20% of my daily job goes into that. Any type of complaints, whatever the customers' complaints are coming, we are going through that. So,
sir, but one more thing, sir. I think there is a lot of subjective elements when you scrutinize the application. As Mr. Nigam said, one nationalized bank said, no, I cannot give you any more money.
Yeah.
And the other says, no, I'm ready to give you money. Situation was the same. He didn't have enough means to, the case that he was representing didn't have means. Still, one banker said that too also a nationalized bank. I think there's a lot of subjective element in this.
Yeah, because we are all the human beings. We are not the robots. That's why the subjectivity is there. Correct? If we all are being supposed to human robots, then there will be always automatically we will work in the similar fashion. It will never work. It will never work. That expectation itself is a very wrong. That expectation itself is a very wrong. No? I mean, suppose even then today, suppose, I am happy with you, I will do your job quickly. Tomorrow I may not be happy, some problem is there at home. No? I will not do your job. Isn't it? So that subjectivity will always be there in the human beings. So that we have to do that.
But sir, it's necessary that all bankers at all levels, right from clerical to everyone, should be given continuous HR training also. Right?
Yeah, we will
One
invite
instance Mr. Rajesh Nigam has quoted.
We are closing the session.
I'm just stating a sentence. And I have personally faced stupid behavior from various levels of bankers. And I think that it is because of lack of training,
So
HR training particularly. And particularly, I am talking about public sector banks.
Thank you. Thank you for your
I
feedback.
think,
Thank you.
thank you very much, sir. Um, I think we have overshot the time, and the next speakers are already waiting. So I'll ask.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful word on this session on finance for growth. So, because we are like behind of time, I will request E.K. Mathu sir to present a memento, Mr. CGM sir, Sharat Chandil sir, for supporting us in this event. Mr. Rajiv Pradhan sir, Treasurer of Management Association, to present a token of memento to CGM sir for supporting us for this session. Thank you, sir. Mr. Anil Rajvi Sharma, CEO. Sorry, Mr. Somesh Tandon, Deputy General Manager, Tata Motors. Sir, please request to please join us on dice.
So Mr. Somesh Tandon from Tata Motors is with us, and Tata Motors is known for various things besides corporate ethics and so many other things. But quality is also one of the qualities which Tatas are known for. And their quality systems are very robust. We are we have therefore invited him to speak on creating zero defect quality culture. Now, that is something, which is a part of the RAMP scheme. And we have asked
I think. All. My name is Somesh Tandon and I am heading customer quality department out here in Tata Motors, Lucknow. I'm a postgraduate engineer from IIT Kanpur in industrial management and engineering. Post that, I was sponsored by Tata Motors for executive MBA from SPJN. And after that, due to my own interest, I did postgraduate in business analytics and machine learning from Kelley School of Business, Indianapolis. And that is my core area of interest. But I have over 30 years of experience in manufacturing, in operations, which is not that glamorous area as finance or marketing. Because when I joined industry, then marketing were the guys who were the means very glamour. People used to look up to them because they used to bring insight. What is the consumer thinking about? And what the marketing communication should be, so we all were in awe of them. But that is also now gradually shifting. Things are moving towards analytics and machine learning and artificial intelligence, so it's a cycle which comes. But the point which I wanted to share out here is that ultimately at the core of every business is a product, and it can be a hardware, it can be a software product, as it was said. Unless it meets the promise, all other things cannot sustain. There's a famous quote from our ex-chairman, late Mr. Ratan Tata: "A promise is a promise. You have to stand by your brand promise, what you give." So operations being a little less glamorous, but it is equally important. I'll not say more important, but it is equally important. And couple of my slides, I would like to show that how it is. With the same amount of effort, you can get more result out of for your business. So just an overview of zero defect philosophy. Origins is in World War II, where the manufacturers were needed to give flawless products in a very short period of time. And this draws my attention to the things which is happening in current scenario, where DRDO is leasing out some of their technology, copyright or patent to MSMEs for manufacturing. This is one opportunity which is coming in a big way for MSME. And similarly, there are many things which we read in paper that Atmanirbhar Bharat and the Defense Ministry of Defense is forcing, means big OEMs to set up manufacturing in India. So that is another type of things which is manufacturing is likely to come in India, and the importance of quality is matching with this resonating with this first point, bullet point. And this was pioneered by Mr. Philip Crosby, who said that we have to focus on doing things right time the first time instead of rectifying. So that is the another key concept which developed in 1960. At the same time, concurrently, it was also being pioneered by Japanese manufacturers like Honda and Toyota, where their focus was system and processes, and non-humans are the cause. That madam has also said that if you have the cause, if you have the system, the chances of defects goes minimal. And then, since 1980s onwards, it has become a sort of global phenomena and a very in thing to talk about just-in-time and lean philosophy. So this is the overview of zero defect philosophy. And now the next couple of slides, I'll try to put my little bit knowledge about the finance, though I'm not a finance guy, just to bring home the point that how we can efficiently use our resources. Of course, this is theoretical. Everybody knows that improved reputation and brand and cost savings and satisfaction follows if you deliver on your promise. Now, till now, the traditional view have been cost plus. Base market में इतना का मैं बेचूंगा, इतना मेरा profit है, इतनी मेरी लागत है. So this is what is going to happen. Sales price was a cost price plus a sort of profit, which was a traditional view. And fortunately or unfortunately, my vendors, which are primarily MSMEs in Lucknow, they are still in this domain. Though we are forcing them, but the mindset still remains. ये तो मेरा आता ही आता है, और इतना तो बनाऊंगा मैं, इतना पैसा लगाऊंगा, then this is my sales price. So this has been the traditional view. And what is the zero defect culture view, which I think we should be in a position to inculcate in the minds of our employees? That sales price is market driven. You can't do much about it. There are many competitions out there. Then there is a context. One of the attendee was sharing that Supreme Court made some ruling, and the next day it was a very hard things for them. So profit is what we want. We don't want to compromise. Sales price is determined. You cannot control that. Then we have in our control is only a cost price. This is the lever which only we can control. And this is the zero defect culture view, that profit is equal to sales price minus cost price, and you have control only on your cost. And cost may be, there are few elements which you cannot control, and very few elements which you can control. The next couple of slides are pointing towards that. So this is just a small thing, that if I make a typical manufacturing organization, almost 80% is the operating cost. Then they have certain finance cost and taxes, and then the net profit is around net 10,500. Say this is the scenario. And if we try to increase our sales by 50%, our bottom line goes up by 72%, and we see the sensitivity of the effort. भी अगर मैं 50% सेल्स इंक्रीज करने में जितना एफर्ट लगाता हूं तो मेरा प्रॉफिट 1.44 टाइम्स बढ़ता है. दिस इज व्हाट आई मीन बाय सेंसिटिविटी. नाउ इफ वी सी द सेम, try to understand the same sensitivity with the operating cost. If we try to reduce by 20%, this is just to highlight, it's very, very difficult to control your operating cost by 20%. Even if you are in a position to manage it by 3, 4, or 5%, it will give you as good a benefit, tangible benefit I am referring to out here in terms of rupees, as increasing your revenue by 50%. So the point which I am trying to make is that bottom line is equally sensitive to your operating cost. It's not that it's very glamorous to talk about I am handling thousands of crores of business and मेरा यहाँ पे advertisement आता है, and it is very important. I am not denying that. But equally important is to focus on your operating cost, which will give you much larger benefit with the same amount of efforts. Now let's see the main breakup of the operating cost. We have standard direct material cost. Further, in the direct material cost, we have the component material cost, which we don't have any control over it, because commodity prices generally are not in my control, or for that matter, for any organization's control. They are market driven. Now, what is in our control is the yield, is the rejections, maybe replacing parts and components at the vendor's end. Similarly, and the labor cost, wage you will have to pay, but the quality of the wages which you pay for the rework, or maybe handling customer complaints, or maybe handling customer returns, is the thing which is under my control. Similar is the case with manufacturing overheads, maintenance and repairs, and inventories is under my control, on which we can focus. Selling, general and administrative expenses are normally recalls and lost sales. Lost sales, we are not in a position to quantify, so generally हम उसको ignore कर देते हैं. But the second concept which Philip Crosby gave was that quality is free. He paid major impact on this. भी loss sale को आप quantify नहीं कर सकते हैं. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists in a very big way. So this is the what cost influence I talked about. In the next slide, I just say this is whatever is in my control, that should I be focusing on controlling it. Those are primary non-value added activity. So the bottom line is that we can only control what cost on which we have influence. Otherwise, other things are market driven. So what has been the traditional philosophies which people have used to work on these non-value added costs? Maybe yield, rejection, and all those things. These are names which majority of you might have heard about, like Six Sigma, QC Story, TQM, PDCA. Maintenance, TPM is the buzzword. People talk about maintenance, TPM. And then inventory is the lean principle, JIT, Kanban, and all those things. Now, what is the underlying philosophy behind all these improvement things? I have jotted it down, but summary is this, that all these philosophies focus on defect elimination, employee involvement, continuous improvement, and database decision making. So this is what is the 4 common pillars or cornerstones of zero defect culture. So we see how adopting a zero culture approach will help us in controlling costs, which is in our control, and not only give us financial benefits, but also improve our reputation and brand, which I think is one of the key challenge which Mathur Saab has spoken about, that building a brand image. Government is doing their job, and we have to do our job in producing a quality product. If we have to grab these opportunities of DRDOs and others, what we spoke about. Now this is what I'll be talking about, what we as a Tata have done to adopt these zero defect philosophy in our manufacturing. See, in 2007, 2008, Tata Motors acquired JLR, and sometime back, Tata Steel acquired Chorus. And since they were from the developed, they were part of the operating in developing economies. So our management thought that we must learn from them that what are the good practices, what they do. They brainstormed it, and then we arrived at this quality culture where we wanted to migrate. The basic premise of that was that there has to be a genuine commitment to quality culture and continuous improvement. And the responsibility for which has to be shared by all. मेरे जो वेंडर से एक आदमी आता है, वो क्वालिटी कस्टमर को हैंडल करने के लिए एक आदमी है, वो रहेगा. इट्स नॉट दैट एवरीबडी कैन नॉट कम एंड अटेंड कस्टमर कंप्लेंट, बट वी जोकिंगली से भी उसको सैलरी सिर्फ मुझसे गाली खाने की मिलती है. वो इधर से सुनता है, इधर से निकाल देता है. So the point which I am trying to make is that quality is someone else's responsibility. I am producing, I will produce, I will meet my numbers, and I'll show at the end of the day, this is my productivity, and that's it. Quality देखने के लिए पूरा team है, department है, people हैं, they get their salary to work on quality. That is not the thing, that is the mindset which we embarked upon to change, and it can only come when we enhance the engagement of each and every employee. So this is what we are saying, that generally rules and responsibility system based processes होते हैं. एम्प्लॉई का एंगेजमेंट कम होता है. निगम साहब ने एक वो एग्जांपल बताया भी, वो मेरे पास हर बार लेके आ जाते थे अप्रूवल के लिए, बिकॉज ही वाज नॉट एंगेज्ड, ही वाज अफ्रेड टू टेक डिसीजन. एंड व्हेन he was given confidence, he was given a process, he started worrying about his job, and probably the saving, I think, I'm not able to recall, was enormous, phenomenal, and he can spare his time for some value added activity. So this is the fundamental which we have adopted. WCQ, we call it as world class quality, which emerged from there. It has got 5 basic principles. People involvement, that quality is everybody's responsibility. Standardization, prerequisite for achieving the quality, that you have to standardize, you have to understand that what a customer wants, and that is what was standardized. And then the culture of the mindset, I don't want to take the blame of stopping the line. So I'm talking from my perspective. We have a conveyor line out here in plant. मैं नहीं रोकूंगा, आगे बढ़ा दो, वो आगे वाला देखेगा. That was the mindset in around 25 years. We used to have that, and we have Keshav sir knows that. And then do not accept defect from the previous process, do not build defect, and do not ship defect. This was the communication which was communicated to the last person who was tightening the bolt on the line. भी ये नहीं चलेगा. And then lead time, short lead time, and continuous improvement has to be done, because once you standardize a process, you put a wedge, stabilize the process, then you have to go to the next level. So that is why standardization was equally important. And here I would like to quote again from late Shri Ratan Tata ji, when he said that at that point of time when this philosophy was developed, I think the environment has become more competitive, that has made Indian industry more concerned with customers, quality of its products, and its brand image in the marketplace. So that is how this system came into existence in Tata Motors. World class quality. We have given it and this is where people involvement, again, it's on the similar line. People are the most valuable resources. Standardization, set and follow standards to achieve a base from which you need to grow. Built-in quality. Quality expectations are built into each processes. So here quality doesn't only mean the quality of the end product. Next process is your customer, and you have to fulfill its requirement and reduce the time from customer order to delivery and payment, and continuous improvement. Now these were further broken down into 33 sub-elements. 5 core principles were broken down into 33 sub-elements. Here I would like to quote Mr. J.R.D. Tata, who said that you cannot avoid details. Detailing you cannot avoid. You cannot say that I am a boss, so ये आपको करना है. I will only look at few top line and bottom line, and detailing you have to do. भाई आपको कोयले का धंधा करना है तो हाथ काले करने पड़ेंगे. You have to go to the last details. These 33 elements were broken down into 798 action elements. 798 action elements have to be implemented across plants in each process if you have to achieve this level of quality. So he said that if you want excellence, you must aim at perfection. It makes you go into the detail that you can avoid. It takes a lot of energy out of you, but that's the only way you finally actually achieve excellence. You cannot achieve excellence unless you go into the details. And so in that sense, being finicky is essential. This is what he said. This is what the journey which we have embarked upon, where we have decided for ourselves certain levels. WCQ level 1. Here the culture is that sales में गाड़ी नहीं जाएगा जब तक के उसके obvious defect हम rectify ना करते हैं. We are still in the rework zone. But the goal is to protect customer from the obvious defects. And the metric we have I mentioned as DRR. If any one of you are interested, we can discuss it out in detail at a later. What DRR? It's basically an efficiency measure where the focus is on defective rather than on the defects. So a unit can have 10 defects, but it will still be counted as one defective. But if it has 10 defects, so DRL, that is the next metric, which when we move to the next level, defect, don't leave the shop, repair before end of the line. So my Excel line, before giving it to the main line, it will repair all the defect. So that is the defect, don't leave the shop. And the third was the defect, don't leave the team. In the team which has that is WCQ level 3. And defects don't leave the station is the fourth one. And the majority of the manufacturing organization across world are operating between third and fourth level. This is what the study which Tata as a group has done, and we have arrived at this, that between third and fourth, even the OEMs are operating. So we can see, we can imagine the amount of rework and the non-value added activity as an organization, as an economy, as an industry we are doing, where there is a scope. And then that is an aspirational thing, avoid errors. Error doesn't occur at all. So all these 33 elements have to work together. This is another quote from our late, our ex-chairman, late Shri Ratan Tata ji. If you want to walk fast, if you want quick bucks, you can do. Walk alone. वो कच्चा पक्का वाला जो सर ने भी बोला भी वो अगर आप साइड पे रख देंगे, then you will have peace of mind and you can do value-added job. But अगर आप उसी में लगे रहेंगे, alone, working alone, okay, you can walk fast for some time, but you cannot walk farther away. If you want to walk farther, walk together. So this was another quote which we as a Tata Motors guys have adopted very, very seriously, that teamwork is very important, because all these three elements have to work together in conjunction like a machine, well-oiled machine, to deliver the output. Now coming to the people in involvement, the topmost thing which we talk about is health, safety and priority. And Nigam साहब के हमारे यहाँ काफी सारे product हैं जो कि use आते हैं. Thanks to him that we have been having a safe journey with his support. And this is what what we expect from our employees, that on health, safety and environment front, that incidents can be prevented through behavior, workplace organization, 5S, personal protective equipments, safe use of hazardous material, and a focus on ergonomics. And our present chairman, Mr. Chandrasekhar, has said that preserving life is about business and profitability. So this is the key theme which we follow whenever we take any decision. If safety is for even a blue collar person is authorized to stop the line if he fails unsafe in working in that environment. So this is the guiding principle. He draws strength from this quote or line, or the guiding principle what we have been given. Then the other thing, I'll not be discussing the entire 33 things. The key things which are applicable to majority of the MSMEs, I'm putting out there. Then the qualified people. Means empowered and engaged people, knowledgeable about it, customer oriented. The point with the focus which I would like to bring of the gathering is on the skilled in the continuous improvement process and problem solving and able to work in teams. So again, Mr. Chandrasekhar has said our people are our greatest asset and we must invest in their growth and development to ensure the long-term success of our organization. If we have to walk further, if we are looking for long-term success, we have to invest in our people. Now, this is the standardization front because this is the basis based on which the improvement occurs. Here I would like to say, talk about 5S because I have been fortunate enough to get exposure to different manufacturing philosophies. I would just like to share one thing here because that is very, very important and related with 5S. In 2017, I went to participate in a manufacturing excellence competition in Brazil, São Paulo. It was organized by our subsidiary company, Tata Marco Polo, at that point of time. Now that JV is not existing. And there were companies from North America, Latin America, China, and Australia. So the thing we won the Manufacturing Excellence Award in safety and quality out there. And Mr. Alfred Gomes Neto was the Chief Executive Officer of Marco Polo, who is now currently heading Embraer aircraft manufacturing of Brazil. And he's taking care of India business because some things are going on in a big way. We won the award. We were very happy. And Chinese people came to us with an interpreter, a translator. And he asked few questions. Bhi aap kaise karte ho, ye, wo, all those things. And we were very happy. And I told him, hum ye karte hain, wo karte hain. This is our process, Six Sigma, blah, blah. Everything I told him. And at the end of the day, I asked Mr. Gomes, I won the award. My company is making loss. Marco Polo was in loss at that point of time. They are making profits. So what do you feel is the difference? He said me, they talk less, they do more. So I was literally shocked. My, the euphoria of winning the competition in that country was gone because I, being a Tata employee, I used to think, nahi, hum ye sab nahi karte hain, hum bahut अच्छे तरीके से काम करते हैं, seriously काम करते हैं. But in a polished way, he said that you people are doing lip service. You people are doing lip service. You have won the award because you qualified the criteria. But actually, ground reality ये है. We Chinese people are doing, बोलते इतना है, वो उतना करते हैं. आप बोलते इतना हो और करते इतना हो. So, which in way is a fact, is a reality, because I think there are this area is less glamorous, less attractive to new gen people, but actually this is what may help you in achieving all the things what we were requesting other people. Be अगर आपका brand अच्छा है, market में अच्छा है, there will be 10 bankers standing behind you to give you loan. But अगर आपका पता ही नहीं है, नाम ही नहीं है, और नाम आपका प्रोडक्ट की वजह से नहीं है, तो then who will be there? Nobody will be there. And then the networking comes into play. मेरे को मिल गया, इसको नहीं मिला, तो all those things are there. So this is the point which I want to make, that workplace organization 5S is very, very important. We should do it in letter and spirit. Again, a quote, an organized workplace is the foundation of productivity. It allows us to focus on what truly matters and drive innovation. This is just, I think most of us are aware about this. So what steps are involved in 5S? So this is what the built-in quality I have already talked about. How the shop floor looks like in a, zero defect culture. They find the defect, identify the problems very, very fast, and they focus on the key problem, which is going to create more disruption going down the line. And then containment action, they put it very fast, fix it, and then feedback mechanism. This is how the shop floor works in a zero defect quality culture. And again, a quote: quality and consistency are not accident. It's the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. And then there is a concept of end-on. Many of you may be aware, it's not merely a wiring and electrical sensor system. It's a philosophically, it is somebody calling you for help from the line. He is not able to do his job. This is what an end-on means in a simple term. I am in trouble, boss, please help me. He is calling out to his supervisor. And empowering our workforce to stop the line and report issues is crucial for monitoring quality and safety. The empowerment is the key, is the buzzword. Blame the process, not the people. We have discussed a lot. Everyone is responsible for that. Now, how do we do it in a big organization, or maybe multi-location organization, as many of may be having multi-plant, I would say. There's a concept of layered audit which was developed. Layered here means the level of organizations, right from blue collar supervisor to shop manager to factory head to plant head and subsequently. So every layer is involved in understanding whether the standards what we have developed to be implemented on lines are getting implemented or not, or whether there is any opportunity for improvement or not. So this keeps us live, and people know that somebody is watching me and I'll be recognized for my good efforts. And this is what the frequency what we have set for ourselves for this layered audit. So all this becomes a little live on the shop floor. So this, our executive director, Mr. Girish Wagh, has told us many times, what get reviews gets done. अगर वो review ही नहीं होगा तो वो out of sight, out of mind, it will happen like that. So layered audit is the tool through which we enforces all these principles on the shop floor. So this is just a couple of slides where I would like to show where Tata Motors Lucknow management has shown their commitment towards developing the people in continuous problem solving. This was an in-house branded program called Q-Star, we used to call it, developing a problem solving culture, a quality in everything. Star means sense, think, act, and revolutionize. So this was the objective, creating quality specialists who will drive quality culture across organizations. And mind you, it was not meant only for quality people. Even my horticulturist was involved in that, and he did a QC story project in improving their output. Focus is on developing problem solver across all functions. So as I said, LO to EG grades, application of learning. So it was experiential learning as well as implementing benefit, business and benefit was also, and then rewards and recognition. People were recognized for their good job. This is how the direct communication was happening from the plant head, project allocation to mentors. This is how the new batch was addressed by the plant heads. And this is how the rewards and recognition, the gentleman on the right, in the right photograph and in the right side, is a professor from IIT Kanpur who used to come and teach us and guide us and reward the people. So this is the coverage was tracked by the plant head at his level. भाई कितने लोग कहाँ तक, किस डिपार्टमेंट के कितने लोग बचे हैं, कितनों ने प्रोजेक्ट किए हैं, कितनों ने नहीं किए हैं. This we extended it to our vendor partners also. Now I will just summarize, which is very, very essential to all companies, whether MSME or big companies. that senior management visible support to quality is must for zero defect culture. As a owner of the organization, as a CEO of the organization, as a plant head of the organization, I should be visible enough that I am supporting quality. Otherwise, quality, zero defect quality cannot come. So what does it means? How does it operationalize? This is a construct at the higher level, be visible support hona chahiye. But how does it operationalize? Be mere liye kya hai if I am a plant head? Regular quality reviews, attend meetings. ऐसा नहीं भी meeting मैंने अपने नाम पे बुला लिया and somebody else is chairing that meeting. So I am absent. So that is what we mean, that visible support. Review quality metrics, provide guidance, participate in rewards and recognitions. Take quality initiatives yourself. Communicate with your employee. Invest in development of your employees through quality trainings. Conduct supplier audits. Make customer visits. Understand the customer pain point. Solve it. Communicate it back to them. This is what we mean, the visible support of the senior management has to be there if we have to develop a zero quality culture mindset. And this is one tool which has helped our MSME vendors in a big way in improving quality. And this is what identifying types of human errors. See, basically, I'm being a bit theoretical, but it is important to understand the essence of this slide, that there is a difference between an error, defect, and effect. So error generally happens in the process. It cannot move forward from one station to another, whereas a defect can move forward. And the effect is the consequence of the defect. So these are the three primarily an assembly unit. Machining thoda kam hota hai hamare yahan. Assembly and fabrication. And this is where the latest trend is moving. This is my core domain. On the problem solving front, the current failure to solution cycle in Tata Motors, I don't know whether I should be sharing these numbers or not, but I am. It's close to 180 days. कस्टमर कंप्लेंट रिपोर्ट करता है, मैं जाके कस्टमर समझता हूँ, आई कलेक्ट डेटा, आई गैदर डेटा, आई डू रूट कॉज एनालिसिस, then I go to my ERC if it is required to, or to vendor or to my or manufacturing process, take action, monitor the effectiveness. It takes close to 6 months. Now when the vehicle definition has changed, now majority of the companies, new companies, especially EV manufacturing, they are not calling them automobile manufacturers. They are calling themselves tech company, software on wheels. I am undergoing a training next week, software defined vehicles. So vehicle, especially with EV coming in big ways, I don't think so mechanical parts has much role to play. It is all software, hardware, software and electronics. So if we have to think on the complexity is becoming so huge. वो कौन सा सेंसर किस समय माल फंक्शन करेगा, किस कंडीशन में, क्या हीट, क्या ह्यूमिडिटी, क्या डस्ट इनग्रेस, you never know. And all these are connected vehicles. Connected means every 30 seconds I am getting the engine and the exhaust data on my server. just like Boeing and other people are getting, tracking their engines. So I am tracking my software. So the data is huge. To make sense out of that data is becoming a big challenge. But if we are able to do that, I'll just share a case study with you, which I have copyright on that. Means under my name, Tata Motors has a copyright on that, where the identification and the solution has been brought down drastically from 180 to less than 30 days. How we have done it, I'll just show you. These are just the name on the right hand side. This I have borrowed it from McKinsey. This is what I'm referring to, that these are the tools and techniques which going forward will become a standard part of the quality toolkit. So this is what I am trying to say, that certain data, batch of data sets were taken, certain complaints were taken. This is, mind you, I am talking about one model, 1 year complaint data set, which had, and for Lucknow produced. Well, Lucknow is a very small volume wise as compared to other Pune and Jamshedpur. So data set had around more than 2 lakh line items, more than 75,000 chassis, and these chassis could have 1,000 different types of defects. So what are the interaction of one defect with other, we never knew. So this is what we did, this association rule mining and sequential rule mining, and we were able to detect certain sequences, certain rules. भी अगर ये fail होगा, फिर ये fail होगा, फिर ये fail होगा. इसकी cost अगर कम है, तो I can make a customized service schedule, maintenance schedule for that particular customer, reducing his downtime. So these are just the parting thoughts and question and answers. All cultures, including Indian, Islamic, Western, have focused on excellence and perfection. These are just some of the quotes. And any question?
Excellent presentation. 40 years ago, I read a book by the name In Search of Excellence. I was working then with Nortel, this Canadian state-of-art telecom equipment manufacturers, one of the 5 largest in the world at that time. So during that time in early 80s, I read this book almost 40 years ago. And I believe that excellence has no specific level, because, for example, if a student scores today 80%, tomorrow he can score 85 and 90 and 95 and so on. So I don't know whether that book is available now somewhere. It's written by some American, I forget the name, I have that book with me. And I think that all the students, all manufacturers, whether SMEs, MSMEs or anyone, should try to read that book and learn lessons from it. Your presentation was indeed very, very, very excellent.
Thank you. Any other questions from MSMEs?
This was no question, it was just a...
Thank you, sir.
Koi aur?
Just tell me in layman's point of view, difference between zero error and zero defect.
Sir, as I said, the difference, error hai, an occurrence of error lead to defect. For every defect, there has to be an error. But for every error, there has to be a defect is not necessarily true. So what I am saying that error is a necessary condition. Error is a sufficient. Error is a necessary condition for defect, but not the sufficient condition. So the point which I am trying to make is, if we focus on error rather than on defect, defect हो गया तो contain तो करना ही पड़ेगा, वो उसका कोई option नहीं है. If we focus on error, the defect generation will not be there.
Which is easy to catch hold of.
Yes.
Error or a defect.
I have not put which is easy to catch hold of. See, easy to catch hold of is obviously defect because it manifests itself. वो तो आपने इंस्पेक्टर हायर किए हुए हैं, His full-time job is to inspect, but there is a person who is doing the job and he has to do it error-free. It's a double job for him, so-called. Error leads to defect.
हाँ साहब, और तो कोई किसी को आप लोग nothing. So I think before closing the session, I am tempted to share with you a small example of zero defect. I happened to read a book by Philip Crosby long back. It was 96, probably 96 or 97. And that talked of zero defect. And one of the things, which he mentioned was that if you display the performance in the organization, in that particular unit, then it helps in reducing and it can bring the level to zero defect. Now, I tried to implement it in a very small way. You see, that 15-story building of Shakti Bhavan had been just constructed, and they had installed those high-speed lifts. Those days, that was the tallest building, and those lifts used to have so many problems. There were, sometimes the minister got stuck in that and it would stop. And this company was called and they used to repair it, but it was a big problem. Then I said, okay, if we display, like Philip Crosby, we started noting down two things. One is the frequency of defect and nature of defect. And those liftmen who were there all the time, they were noting it down. And every week, I used to draw a curve, plot something, and write a 4-line letter to the Otis, which was Otis headquarters, and gave a copy to the local manager. I found that the number of defects started coming down. There was the usual system of making a complaint and their operator coming. All that went on. And every Saturday there was a 5-minute meeting with the Otis local manager. And I actually found that the level of defects started in frequency. It came down, I remember it used to be 40 per week. And it started coming down. It came down to 2 or 3. Then this Otis chap said that, sir, you can discontinue this, and because a report was going to his head office. But I said, when it can come down to 2 or 3, it can be 0 also. And it actually came to 0. And then week after week, it remained 0. So much so that the Otis headquarters, the Asia Pacific headquarters at Singapore, those fellows came down and they visited Shakti Bhavan. And I got a letter from them saying that this is very rare that we get such a feedback from the... So what I was trying to say, that if you display, as Philip Crosby said, I read that book over and over again, and they said if you display the performance regularly at the workplace, and then somebody will take action about it. So, sorry for...
No, sir. It's a perfectly apt example.
So I think, Renu, should we close?
Mr. Tandon, thank you so much. That was amazing, whatever you told us. I'll just tell you how any effort in workplace starts to show at home also. Sir being very high on quality, zero defect, things started working in my kitchen as well. Zero error. My sugar pot was made cream color. My salt pot was made brown color, so that there is no error. गलती से भी चीनी की जगह नमक न डल जाए, color coding, his clothes Monday through Saturday एक सीक्वेंस बना, कहीं गलती से भी ट्यूसडे वाला वेंसडे को ना पहन लें. So I'm telling you how things, because it's a mindset. Today I am a partner to it. So initially when you start doing it in your workplace, I don't know what the response you'll get at home, because it is not easy. But if I have seen our quality assurance people come and tell me they have a lot of fights at home, but eventually we fall into place.
That's very right.
He said, which he also mentioned, was that this quality department doesn't work. It is the actual department worker, the actual workers on the job. They can do the quality, not the quality people. I don't know, but why quality department still exists.
So actually, it has been very, very nice.
This particular situation that we are talking. So I was, I don't know how many years ago it was. I was in Germany, making a presentation on my company and our business to one of our very big potential customers at that time. Now, of course, they're our very close customers. And पूरा जब presentation मैंने दिया तो I'm boasting of everything that I have. We do this backward integration, we have this, we have that. We've got so many people the way I was telling you today. And I get very emotional when it comes to my plant. And I've got 47 people in quality control, including blue collared.
वो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को तो करने पड़ेंगे, हमको तो सैलरी आ जाती है मंथ एंड में.
Thank you, your insightful session and wonderful presentation. You brief about each and everything about the quality. So now I will request Mr. Vipin Gupta sir to present a token of appreciations to Mr. Somesh Tandon. Now I'll request Dheeraj sir to present a token of love or appreciation to Kavita ma'am for sharing such a wonderful thoughts to us between us. Thank you ma'am for coming and sharing these beautiful thoughts. So now moving to our next session, I will invite Mr. Sharma, CEO, Learfold Information Technologies and Engineering Services. He will deliver the sessions on the enterprise toward Industry 4.0. So first I will request Mr. Sumit Mittal, General Secretary, to welcome Mr. Anil Rajvi Sharma. Sir, to, sir, I will request to please.
So I have great pleasure in introducing Mr. Anil Rajvil Sharma. Now, technology is something, which you all use, but how you upgrade it and reach to a level where it really means growth for the company. And Mr. Anil Rajvir Sharma is a specialist in making Industry 4.0 compliant. I'll briefly introduce him. Mr. Anil Rajveer Sharma is Chief Operating Officer of Lira Dolph Information Technology and Engineering Services Private Limited. He drives the digital transformation of manufacturing industries. He holds bachelor degrees from BITS Pilani and MBA from IMT Ghaziabad. He is leading Lira Dov for past 10 years, and prior to that, he has had rich experience of 18 years across all verticals of manufacturing. He was supply chain head of Tenenco at Hosur. He was also heading the purchase function of Gabriel India at it is Pavanu. He has worked with various leading companies in engineering, R&D, plant operation, purchase, and rest of the functions. And he is also helping Skill India campaign by developing training content for various skill councils, including NESCOM, RC, PSDC, furniture fittings, water management, etc. He is promoting Industry 4.0 concepts on various forums to improve operational efficiencies of companies in India. So those who want to upgrade uh, their technology, please listen to him carefully, and we'll expect your feedback, how many want to go on the path of 4.0. Thank you. Mr.
So thank you, Mathurji, for a nice introduction. So I believe it was very great sessions I had before me. So I'm feeling a little jittery to match with those. So the theme of my talk today is adopting Industry 4.0. So before starting, how many of you are aware about Industry 4.0? What is this concept all about? Anyone? Okay, so that is not an issue. That is making all the more benefit of listening to this concept if you are not aware. So we will be talking about transforming small and medium enterprise for digital age because they find little difficult to adopt this technology. So agenda for this talk is like little bit about me. So Mathurji has already told so many things, so I'll be skipping that part. And then what is in Industry 4.0, what is industrial IoT, why we need Industry 4.0, challenges we face in SMEs, then typical data acquisition architecture which we follow, and how to start. And then we'll be seeing some of the case studies. So this is all been told, so I'll be just skipping it. So this is somewhat made me what I am today. So I handled highly complex production environment for few of the leading companies in India. And then I had a very great opportunity working with Toyota for their Toyota production system implementation in one of our plant. Okay, so we work very closely with their DMD Tomanaga-san, and we owe a lot of the things which I learned to him. So these are the company I was supplying when I was working as a supply chain head. So this is so right now what we do is we are helping industry in making digital transformation roadmap, that how they should be picking up the projects for digitalization and how they should be spending money on that. So this is our product that is called Digital Factory, and basically it's a digital ecosystem for all the transaction which you do in your organization. So these are the current customers which we have, and one thing I want to emphasize in this screen that you would see a lot of repeat name from the same group, and the longevity, like the customer which are using our software from last 8 years. So these are some of the glimpses. The top row which you are seeing is the screens the people have in their shop floors, whether it is a big company, whether it is a small company, and then we do a lot of appreciation on achieving certain goals through digitalization. So these are the claims which I do for promotion. So yeah. So what is Industry 4.0? We would have learned when we were a small kid, probably I think third or fourth standard. In that curriculum, we used to learn that James Watt ने एक steam engine develop किया था, okay, and उसको अगर हिंदी की भाषा में हम बोलें तो उसको बोलते थे हम औद्योगिक क्रांति आई थी उसकी वजह से. क्यों औद्योगिक क्रांति आई थी? बिकॉज वो उस स्टीम इंजन से आपका मैनुअल जो काम करने का तरीका था वो चेंज हो गया था. ठीक है. सो अब अगर इंडस्ट्री 4.0 है तो 1 2 3 तो होने ही है. तो इंडस्ट्री 1.0 इज दैट रेवोल्यूशन विच हैपेंड इन इंग्लैंड. ओके. Then the second revolution happened, which happened when Henry Ford, who was the owner of Ford company, he started doing the mass production. Earlier, before that, the lot of thing was happening in the batch production. There was no line concept, assembly line concept was there before that. So that was the second revolution. Then there was a third revolution in 20th century, which was when computers were invented. So computer were invented, and then somebody thought that let's use this computer with the machine. And that's how the CNC machines came into the existence. Okay, and those were more accurate, those were more faster. So that was the third revolution. Now today we are having this fourth revolution. Okay, when we are saying today, not exactly today, but from last maybe 10 years or something like that. Okay, and this revolution has been happening with the help of internet, which we are using for our normal processes. So these are the element of Industry 4.0. So primarily, people are saying there are 9 pillars for Industry 4.0. Today, we will be primarily talking about augmented reality. We are seeing a lot of gaming thing, which the cameras and goggles, which Google you would have seen. So that is also helping industry in doing a lot of new age training. Then we have additive manufacturing. This is nothing but 3D printing. 3D printing you can use for doing the rapid prototyping of your new product. Then we have cloud computing, which nothing but taking the cloud data to your cloud and use that power. And then cyber security is must, because a lot of things are happening in the computer, software, or cloud. So the key principle for us for Industry 4.0 is like digitizing your factory for real-time monitoring for all the key parameters you are doing. Then we have we need to do this real-time data analysis, and how it will be happening. Like say for example, आपका कोई sir, what kind of business you have? Ajay, you're into. So anybody from manufacturing industry here? Yeah. Yeah. So how many machines you have? Okay. So how many robots are there? 8 robots. So, okay. So now first and foremost, we need to understand whether all 8 robots are working or not. So that is the first prerequisite. Second is at what speed it is working. Is it working at the intended speed or lower than that? Or then if any abnormality is coming, that abnormality should get highlighted automatically to the various levels of your organization. So no one should be required for that. And then we have a fiber. So for that we have a cyber physical system where human and machines will be communicating together and decentralized decision making. So when we are saying abnormal escalation, so I'll take one example. When I was heading supply chain, so we were supplying to Ford, and this Ford Motors supply got delayed one day. So I was sitting in my office. I was waiting that somebody would be confirming that the material was supposed to go. It has gone. And then when asked, they were saying, no, sir, today supply has not gone. And then why it has not gone? So there was some issue in the manufacturing machine. So that is why shock absorber what not produced. And the first answer or comment which I made, which probably everyone will make the same thing, मुझे पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? That is the basic thing which we ask. Agar if something is going wrong in our office or company, we always think that if something is going right, okay, I don't want to understand, I don't want to hear. But if something is going wrong, that should be coming immediately, or whatever level, whatever time lag is permitted. Like say for example, if you are heading the plant, if any machine is waiting for production for 1 hour, it should be in your notice. So what is the benefit of your industry 4.0? So first and foremost, your productivity and efficiency will get increased. You will be doing lot of your data driven decisions. Like as I said, आप अपने किसी सुपरवाइजर को बोल सकते हो ये गलत होगा, ये गलत होगा, ये गलत होगा, तो मुझे बताना है. But you cannot expect that every time it will be happening like that. Now with the data itself is escalating, will happen automatically. Lot of flexibility and customization will come in your organization. Your customer experience will get improved, and you will have a cost reduction also. So now the second question will be coming. It is little technical, but I will try to make it simpler for your understanding. So IoT is what? It is connecting industrial things like sensor, PLC, actuator through internet. Now, I believe a few years back there was a advertisement on TV of Amitabh Bachchan. It was for some air conditioner, and there was a call going from him home, and then they were saying, "ये industrial Internet of Things." That is for machines, which we use for connecting PLC and everything. So it provides access to your real-time data, and you can even control your machines remotely through this technology. So now the next question is, ये टेक्नोलॉजी तो बहुत बढ़िया है, सब लोग लगा भी रहे हैं, बट मतलब हमें लगाना क्यों है, हमारी कंपनियों में क्यों लगाना है? So this is the chart. If you see, it was a little dated chart. It is from 2019. So there is a organization which does the productivity analysis for each country, the major countries. And if you see, these are color coded. And India's color is the lightest one which is available in the whole world. Why it is so? because our productivity is the least in whole world. And how it is dragging us down. Now you imagine you have got 10 people in your company. Against that, if I ask you that you have got only 4 people and they are working at the same productivity, which one is the better situation? And that is how China is better than us. As sir was also saying, they are not doing the lip service, but they're working efficiently, and that is how their cost is also lower than our country. And that is why we need this to be this industry 4.0 more than any other country in the world, because we have got challenges of conventional manufacturing also. So we have got cost reduction pressure from our customer. We use contract labor, which is very difficult to train. We are this product life cycle are becoming very small. Product variations are increasing like anything. Product recall policies are stricter now. There is pressure of increasing ROI, fluctuation in asset utilization, and challenges of producing the perfect part with the imperfect manpower. That is the biggest challenge which we have. आज की डेट में अगर आपके पास में कोई मैन पावर शॉर्ट हो गई, अब आप अपने एचआर वाले को भैया कहीं से भी पकड़ के लेके आए, मेरे को तो आज लाइन चलानी है. So now coming to your domain, which is MSME or SME, what are the issues which for you? So first and foremost is the financial issue है, because this technology is actually not that affordable as of now. अगर मेरे से बात करें तो, and because then you see कि ROI होगा या नहीं होगा, तो based on that और फिर वो वहीं पे ही वो sideline हो जाता है project. And then there are skill gaps in your company. You would be finding very difficult कि यार एक engineer है जो इस technology के ऊपर काम करेगा, which is little difficult to have. Then cyber security के concern तो है ही है कि कोई data ना उड़ा के ले जाए हमारी company का. Then we have got a chain management. लगा तो दिया हमने, but लेकिन उसको अब चलाएंगे कैसे, implement कैसे करेंगे, that is another thing. And then the biggest issue is implementing this industry 4.0 in these kind of machines. Because in our, so we have got a lot of old machinery also. क्योंकि जब तक उसका पूरा जूस नहीं निकल जाता हम तो उसको नहीं बेचने वाले हैं, because it is working fine for us. Okay, so that is the another challenge. And before going to the next topic, I'll just show you the typical architecture of data acquisition, how it happens. So don't get afraid with so many devices on the left side. It is just to showcase that be it anything in your company, you can connect everything. Okay, starting from your energy meter, your weighing scales, your sensors, your analog to digital connectors, IOs, vibrations, acoustic sensors, and then machines like that. Whether it has got PLC, it has got no PLC. So anything, if you feel it should be connected to Industry 4.0, it can be connected. There are technology available. There are people available for that. Then it goes to the gateway PC and then to the cloud services, and then again it is coming to the display units. So how you can start? First and foremost, you should be assessing your machines which you are going to connect. So चाहे वो पुरानी है, छोटी है, manual अगर कुछ आप कर रहे हैं, assembly कर रहे हैं, you need to list out all the machinery which you would like to connect in the first place, and the challenge associated with that. अगर let's say मैं आपको एक example देता हूँ, आपके पास PLC based machine है, कोई CNC machines है, ठीक है? उस PLC की अगर आपके पास में प्रोटोकॉल नहीं है, अगर आपके पास में पासवर्ड नहीं है, it is very difficult for anyone in the world to connect that machine. So first and foremost, you need to get that. Okay, so this kind of analysis you need to do for your machinery first. Then define clear objective. आपको चाहिए क्या? देखिए इंडस्ट्री 4.0 ना बहुत एक बड़ा बजवर्ड बन गया है आज के डेट में, हर कोई भाग रहा है. आई एम नॉट श्योर अबाउट लखनऊ एरिया बिकॉज आई एम न्यू टू दिस, बट अगर एनसीआर वगैरह में आप देखेंगे तो आई मीन एवरीवन ओके चलो भाई इंडस्ट्री 4.0 कुछ तो डिजिटलाइजेशन कर ही लेते हैं, कुछ तो लगा ही लेते हैं. बट यू नीड टू सी फॉर योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन व्हाट इज नीडेड. आपको किससे फायदा होने वाला है. तो मतलब जस्ट बिकॉज सारे लोग लगा रहे हैं मुझे नहीं लगाना है, मुझे तो मेरे को फायदा देखना है. तो दैट इज व्हाई यू नीड ए क्लियर ऑब्जेक्टिव. Then pain areas. Your objective should be linked to your pain areas. अभी जैसे कुछ लोगों के यहाँ पे मैं आई विल शो यू सम केस स्टडीज. कुछ लोगों को प्रॉब्लम है कि मेरे यहाँ पे प्रोडक्टिविटी की प्रॉब्लम है. So for them, the pain area is increasing your productivity. So how to, real time, see your productivity level and then work on that. कुछ जगह प्रॉब्लम शायद क्वालिटी की हो सकती है. सो फॉर देम द पेन एरिया इज क्वालिटी. तो उसको पहले क्वालिटी से रिलेटेड कुछ डिजिटलाइजेशन करना चाहिए. एंड देन देयर आर सम मेंटेनेंस इशू आल्सो इन योर कंपनी. सो इट ऑल डिपेंड्स व्हाट इज योर पेन एरिया. देन स्टार्ट स्मॉल. कुछ लोग होते हैं, मतलब हम कई बार जैसे डिस्कशन के लिए जाते हैं, देर आर सम डिस्कशन एंड वी स्टार्ट के सर आप एक काम करो, आप मशीनों को कनेक्ट कर लो एंड देन यू डेटा दिखेगा आपको रियल टाइम पे एंड यू कैन इम्प्रूव ऑन प्रोडक्टिविटी. बट देन दे गो वेरी ओवरबोर्ड है. मेरे को तो प्लानिंग का भी लगाना है, मुझे इसके ऊपर मेंटेनेंस का भी, मुझे सीबीएम भी लगाना है, कंडीशन बेस्ड मॉनिटरिंग भी लगानी है, वाइब्रेशन से मुझे पता चल जाए. सो एवरीथिंग इज पॉसिबल बट इट हैज टू बी डन इन ए फेज्ड मैनर. Okay, so you need to start small. And then the last, not the least, and the most important one, you need to choose your technology partner very, very carefully. Why so? Because it's a journey. ये देखिए जनरली क्या होता है, आपने सीएनसी मशीन खरीदनी, मेरे को आज एक सीएनसी मशीन समझ में आ रही है, कल दूसरे मेक की समझ में आ रही है. यू कैन बाय बोथ. एक यहाँ पे खड़ी हुई है, एक दूसरी खड़ी हुई है, दोनों चल रही है. लेकिन with software it doesn't happen like that, because it's a journey. Today you need this software, next day you require a different software, the third day different, and all should be talking to each other. उसका integration आपस में होना चाहिए. तो एक जो आपने आदमी पकड़ लिया, it will run through your life है. It looks very difficult, and as an technology partner it is a very great place to be in है. क्योंकि जब हम एक किसी कंपनी में जाते हैं, you can see all the names of the same company है. Why we are like that? Because whatever they need today as a digitalization, we are there. You ask any software, we are making it. So either we are having it or we are making it for them. So that is how you should be also choosing your technology partner. So starting point कहाँ से हम लोग कर सकते हैं? As I was explaining, तो you can start with your real time production, and I always say this is the basic thing which you should be doing. और अगर आप मशीन नहीं भी कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, you start using your Google Sheets. Someone who is reliable, मतलब आप छोड़ दो सारा, कोई पैसे नहीं खर्च करने, that is available free to you. I'm giving a free advice on that. कोई सॉफ्टवेयर कुछ भी लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. Through Google Sheet also you can track your production. Through that you can create your जो आपके abnormal conditions होते हैं. You need one reliable person who is doing it on a real time basis. That also you can do. Then production planning, the next thing which you can do, breakdown or abnormal condition का escalation है, compliance management. That is a very interesting thing. Through digitalization you can do. What we have done in our software, we have done a very small thing in a line dash. So what we do, there is a display at the each of their stations, each assembly line, and each assembly line has got some compliance buttons. And before starting the shift, the person who's responsible for that line has to make sure that all the compliances are in green. And these are linked to the production head or plant head or the owner. He is having this display in front of him. He needs to just verify that all are zero. That's it. Nothing else. उसको और कुछ करना ही नहीं है. Rather than अभी आज की डेट में अगर आप बात करो, आपको कुछ भी कंप्लायंस देखना है, somebody आपको जो 47 की कोई बात कर रहा था, 47 लोग हैं क्वालिटी में, what they do? Most of them are doing only layered audit. किसी ने चेक शीट भरी है या नहीं है, जाके देख के आओ भाई. किसी ने वो इंस्पेक्शन शीट बनाई है नहीं बनाई, जाके देख के आओ. So that is you can eliminate. टूल मैनेजमेंट. नाउ एक वॉन टूल है, वो आप यूज करे जा रहे हो. अगर कुछ लोग अगर इंजेक्शन मोल्डिंग के कोई बिजनेस में है, यू नो हाउ क्रिटिकल इज टू डू द प्रिवेंटिव मेंटेनेंस ऑफ द टूल. विद दिस टेक्नोलॉजी अगर आपके वो शॉर्ट्स पूरे हो गए हैं, आप कंपनी में हैं या नहीं है, आप वेरीफाई कर रहे हैं नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्वालिटी वाला वेरीफाई कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा, आपकी मशीन रुक जाएगी उतने शॉर्ट्स पे. you will not be able to run your machine with that mold till the time you are doing the preventive maintenance. That is the technology or software which we have developed. And then energy management. So that is the bare thing which you can do agar aapka energy consumption bahut zyada hai. So these are the 6 area I would recommend you to. And best practice, as we were saying, the commitment from the leadership. कई बार क्या होता है कुछ कंपनियों में स्पेशली जो एसएमईज होती हैं, कोई एक नया इंजीनियर आता है, वो कहता है सर डिजिटलाइजेशन करेंगे और आप भी उसको थोड़ा सा बढ़ावा देने के लिए आपको हाँ हाँ कर ले. ये वाले प्रोजेक्ट ऐसे नहीं चलते हैं. सो फ्रॉम मैनेजमेंट somebody has to commit himself, then only it will be giving you benefits. Focus on current pain area, iterative approach, phase manner में आपको जाना है, and monitor the progress. Now I'll show you a few of the case studies, not in detail, but like one we did for improvement of productivity. You won't believe the improvement they got, and actually I got surprised है कि इतना scope उनके यहाँ पे था क्या पहले से. It was 22% within 3 months of the implementation. So 5 to 10% we always used to get from all the customer, but that was a very different case. Then improved planning, so unplanned downtime they have reduced by 20.9%. Improved quality, compliance of critical inspection was increased by 95% to them. In-process rejection reduced by 8.6%. Enhanced tool life. So because they were doing the preventive maintenance at the right time, that is how their tool life got increased by 8.2%. And energy saving, which is the thing. So that is it from my side. If any questions from your side, you can ask me now. There is my number there. You can note it down. You can discuss it later on also. So questions.
We are yet to harness industry 4, although there are few large industries which are already using it. But using alone, as you've said, is not sufficient. We've got to get advantages out of it also. So we are still, that's why I said this is kind of the first exposure. And people are still not realizing what is this.
No, sometimes what happens, to add to what you are saying, sometimes we know what is the losses we are incurring. Sometimes we really do not know. Those are so hidden deep inside our data. Yeah, because see, one example we used to give that, see, in any company, sir, correct me if I'm wrong, in any manufacturing company, कौन सा एक डॉक्यूमेंट है जहां से सारे इंप्रूवमेंट ड्राइव होते हैं. जो भी इंप्रूवमेंट प्रोजेक्ट होता है वो कौन से डॉक्यूमेंट से शुरू होते हैं. आई बिलीव इट इज अ प्रोडक्शन रिपोर्ट. तो आप प्रोडक्शन मतलब साइकिल टाइम ठीक है या नहीं है, आपने प्रोडक्शन कम किया है या ज़्यादा किया है, आपका क्वालिटी रिजेक्शन कितना है, ठीक है. All those things are coming from production report, and we say that production report, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that is the most manipulated document ever exists on this earth. We do anything which is possible. वो अगर डाउन टाइम डालना है मेरे को, तो मेरी मेंटेनेंस वाले से यारी दोस्ती ज्यादा है तो मैं यूटिलिटी में डाल दूंगा. सो दैट इज हाउ इट हैपेंस. अब उसको रिपोर्ट को आप लेके अगर आप सारे के सारे अपने इंप्रूवमेंट प्लान करोगे, एंड दैट इज हाउ वी हैव लॉट ऑफ इंप्रूवमेंट एक्टिविटीज इन द कंपनी, लेकिन बॉटम लाइन पे कोई इफेक्ट नहीं आता उससे. आपके प्रोजेक्ट खत्म होते चले जाते हैं, लेकिन बॉटम लाइन आपकी वहीं की वहीं रहती है, कभी इंप्रूवमेंट दिखता ही नहीं है उसमें. एंड दैट इज द ओनली रीजन, बिकॉज द डेटा इटसेल्फ इज इनकरेक्ट.
You've rightly said, we have to be honest with ourselves.
Mr. Anil, sir, because we have a very few audience with us to ask the questions. So, and we have, this is the last second session of this event. So, thank you to brief about the industry 4.0. Now, I will invite Keshav Mathur, sir, from Laghu Udyog Bharati, Vice President, to present a gift as a token of appreciation to Mr. Anil Rajveer. I will request you can join us here so that symmetry we can form a symmetry because we have a few people over here. So if you can feel, you can join us here. Session of this program. Now I will invite Mr. R.C. Yadav, Chief Human Resource Officer of Garo Cement Industry Limited, and he will deliver the lecture on imperatives for productivity improvement. And I will request Mr. Mathu sir to please welcome Mr. R.C. Yadav sir.
uh, not the least, productivity improvement. That is something, regretfully, many people didn't put up with the delay. And we have industry experts, for every subject. And so here we have Mr. R.C. Yadav. He is Chief Human Resource Officer of Garoy Cement Industry Limited. Uh, he, he's, he has a long corporate experience and has developed a state-of-art training calendar in collaboration with the World Bank and mentored over 500 students from prestigious institutions, including IITs, etc., and recognized by the Ministry of Industries, Government of India for comprehensive training need assessment. So I'll request Mr. Yadav to make his presentation.
रास्ता नहीं है माथुर साहब का आदेश है और आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड ए वेरी फ्यू स्लाइड्स प्रैक्टिकल स्लाइड्स और विच मे बी रिलेवेंट आप बताएं अपने हिसाब से क्योंकि पहले से ही मेरे ख्याल से सिंस 4 o'clock you are listening you few people are making interesting after asking the questions so और ज़्यादा जो है आपको ये न करते हुए प्रोडक्टिविटी की तो सारी प्रॉब्लम राजवीर सर ने सॉल्व कर दिया कि मतलब कहाँ से क्या रूट का आ जाएगा बट इफ वी सी इट्स रियली वर्कशॉप people from industry, people from expert area of their own, and when I was going through the keynotes, so माथुर साहब ने तो उसमें लिखा था कि हमारे कुछ MSMEs अभी मतलब बहुत उस स्टेज पे हैं, कुछ बहुत एडवांस हैं, बट ऐसा नहीं है. I found really it's हमारा वो मिथ तो टूट गया. तो you people are really knowing the problem and asking very practical questions. It's wonderful. Of course, in India, one way we are leading with 21st century, other way we are also maintaining the 18th century, 17th centuries also. That's why it is India, and we are doing well in both. So, coming to the presentation, I would like to pay attention only on this slide. Remaining I will skip very fast because I know this is last session and everybody is might be some a few has already gone and you people also may be in hurry. So this is the slide. Why we need productivity, why we need cost reduction, why we need quantity, why we need quality. So these are the earlier were the days when mediocrity will also, they were also surviving, they were also doing. Now that is obsolete. You have to be the excellent one. Otherwise you cannot survive. Similarly, earlier were the benchmark. Now you have to create the future mark. Earlier strategy were the sufficient enough. Now execution required, and as many of the faculties told that yes, of course we are the good reader, we are the good planner, we are the good strategy maker, but execution is missing. Planning to be converted into action. Customer satisfaction once upon a time was the most कि भाई ठीक है customer satisfied है तो वो हमारा aim होना चाहिए. But customer success, customer delight, and many more words are coming in that. Internal focus is not enough. You have to focus external also.
strategic supplier, pioneer supplier, standardization, exceptionalism. Until unless you are going through towards that, so you will be in the commoners. Effective development, talent development center. Of course, IQ should be with EQ. Professional, passionate, will to last, will to create impact. Quality first, innovation. And very good की जगह पे अब excellent से भी आगे करना पड़ेगा. So these are a few words I have collected during my experience and where we have to go for, from where to where. This is a newspaper cutting, jogging the brain, means we are capable of doing all those we are capable of. यहाँ पे किसी को चाहिए तो मैं ओरिजिनल दे देता हूँ. ये 7 मई 6 मई 2007 का टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का आर्टिकल है, where it is said that in our general day-to-day work we hardly use 1/100th of our brain's capacity to do work. मतलब हमने दिमाग का 0.01% ही यूज करते हैं. रिमेनिंग इज अनटेप पोटेंशियल. हमारा सब कॉन्शस, अनकॉन्शस और कॉन्शस जो है इतना पावरफुल है, कॉन्शस से ज़्यादा पावरफुल सब कॉन्शस और अनकॉन्शस है. सो इफ वी आर एक्सप्लोर द पॉसिबिलिटीज, wonders can be happen. So this paper is with me. If anybody has any doubt, it is written that we hardly use 1/100th of our brain capacity. So researches are going on, and that's why we are leading. So we have taken a very few practical points for productivity. So far we have discussed people, finance, and technology. So finance you can get one through the financiers, banks. Technology, best technology of the world you can get. What is uncommon? That is the people. That is the employee. But contrary to this, शाहिर लुधियानवी जी ने कहा है कि मिट्टी का भी मोल मगर इंसान की कीमत कुछ भी नहीं. मैं एक एग्जाम्पल बताता हूँ. मैं सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री से था तो एक माइनिंग में हमारे सिन्हा जी हुआ करते थे, एसएम माइंस धनबाद के. तो वो एक फोरमैन था, उसको साल भर डांटते रहते थे. लेकिन जब वो असेसमेंट का टाइम होता था, इंक्रीमेंट का टाइम होता था, तो बोले कि यादव साहब इसको जो है ना मुझे डबल इंक्रीमेंट दिलाना है, प्रमोशन डबल दिलाना है, सैलरी करेक्शन कराना है. मैं बोला क्यों, मतलब ये साल भर तो आप डांटते रहते. बोले आप नहीं समझते, अगर यही आदमी अमेरिका में होता या दूसरे मतलब डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज में होता तो इसकी सैलरी माइट बी 1 करोड़. तो बाकी जहां पे टेक्नोलॉजीज है सब है, मैन पावर इज टू कॉस्टलियर. वी आर लकी इनफ कि दैट वी आर हैविंग इवन क्वालिटी मैन पावर इन लेसर कास्ट. सो इट्स ए डिविडेंड टू इंडिया वी कैन से. डेमोग्राफिक डिविडेंड के साथ में इंडिया में ये जो है, इसको जो है कि सोचना चाहिए कि कैसे हम जो है इसको एक्सप्लोर कर सकते हैं. दूसरा क्या है कि अभी सब में तो ऑप्टिमाइजेशन हो गया, टेक्नोलॉजी में लगभग चल ही रहा है. फाइनेंस में कोई ठीक है जो एक एमएसएमई वाला लगाएगा या एक इंडस्ट्री वाला लगाएगा, या जो बेस्ट इंडस्ट्री वाला या हैवी इंडस्ट्री वाला जो फाइनेंस लेगा उस वही फाइनेंस आपको मिलता है. तो उसमें द डिफरेंस इज ह्यूमन बीइंग. और वहीं पे कहीं पे हम जब अंडर एस्टिमेट करते हैं तो सेम इंडस्ट्री होते हुए भी हमारी प्रोडक्टिविटी डिफरेंट हो जाती है. तो ये इसके लिए एक संस्कृत का मंत्र है जो जनरली एचआर वाले कहा करते हैं कि अमंत्रम अक्षरम नास्ति नास्त मूलम औषधि अयोग्यो पुरुषो नास्ति योजकस्तत्र दुर्लभ है. कहने का मतलब है कि जैसे बीच में किसी ने कहा भी था कि हमने मतलब देयर इज नो बैड पर्सन या कुछ इस तरह की बात आई थी. हमारे एक CHRO थे एंड उनके वैलिडेटरी सेशन में उन्होंने ये बोला, ही वाज फ्रॉम XLRI, कि मिस्टर यादव आई फाउंड नो बैड पर्सन इन माई लाइफ सो फार. सो ये अपने देखने का नज़रिया है. तो जो हमारे साथ लोग जुड़े हैं, हमारी इंडस्ट्री के साथ जुड़े हैं, हमारे इंटरनल कस्टमर हैं, एक्सटर्नल कस्टमर हैं, वी हैव टू develop trust and faith on them, involve them, तो सी चेंज हो जाता है. ऑफकोर्स सारा चीज क्या है, कैपेबिलिटी बिल्डिंग के इर्द गिर्द घूमता है. क्लैरिटी ऑफ गोल्स, हमारे पहले के फैकल्टीज ने भी बोला है. कम्युनिकेशन, फीडबैक, पीडीसीए, इस पे ज़्यादा बात करने का समय नहीं है. लेकिन द मोमेंट वी आर एबल टू नो कि वेयर इज आवर मिस्टेक और एरर, वेयर वी आर डूइंग, कहाँ पे स्कोप है, वहीं से इम्प्रूवमेंट की गुंजाइश हो जाती है. जब तक हम इस मुगालते में रहते हैं कि नहीं 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 वी आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट, तब तक थोड़ा सा मुश्किल रहता है. और सारी चीज़ें जैसे कि अभी देखा आपने, डेटा, इंफॉर्मेशन, नॉलेज, वैल्यू एडिशन और इसी के इर्द गिर्द घूमती रहती हैं. इट इज आवर विजडम which converts data into practical things, which converts data into knowledge, which converts data into value addition part, and their wisdom is required, and that wisdom comes from your people. That may be included you also. Creating culture of better to wear rather than rust. ये जो है कि प्रोडक्टिविटी का इंडिया में एक ये भी है, जनरली वी आर द ट्रेडिशनल कंट्रीज, और हमारा जो फेस्टिवल है ये सब है, और कई चीज़ों पे हम, हमारे इमोशनल जो है, इमोशनल वीकनेस से वी आर लैगिंग इन प्रोफेशनलिज्म. प्रोडक्टिविटी इन्हांसमेंट के जो फैक्ट्रीज में हम लोगों ने काम किए हैं, इस पे कुछ ये था, एक बेसलाइन सर्वे होता है कि वेयर वी आर, वेयर वी हैव टू गो, एंड कहाँ पे गैप है, whether that gap can be bridged by the training, by the machinery, by the technology. और जहाँ पे जो भी है, अगर उस ट्रेनिंग से, टेक्नोलॉजी से, मशीनरी से, कंपनसेशन से नहीं हुआ, देन उसको रेजिडुअल गैप बोलते हैं. एंड देन असेसमेंट सेंटर्स आर देयर टू असेस दैट. क्वालिटी सर्कल, काइजन, सजेशन, 5 years की बात हो गई तो आई विल स्किप इट. दिस इज द थिंग्स, रेज योर बार, कंटिन्यूअल इंप्रूवमेंट की जो बात हुई है, दिस इज द थिंग्स. जिंदगी एक मुसलसल सफर है, एक मंजिल मिली तो मंजिल आगे बढ़ा दी. सो यू हैव टू स्ट्राइव फॉर द बेस्ट. कंटिन्यूअल इंप्रूवमेंट. प्रोडक्टिविटी पे एक जनरली ये सारू रांगनेकर जी का एक कोट बहुत फेमस है. वो कहा करते थे कि व्हेन पीपल अप्लाई फॉर एनी पोजीशन, मोस्ट ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन फॉर द एम्प्लॉयमेंट स्टार्ट्स विथ बीइंग गिवन टू अंडरस्टैंड देयर एग्जिस्ट ए वैकेंसी अंडर योर काइंड कंट्रोल. आई बेग टू अप्लाई फॉर द सेम. इफ सेलेक्टेड, आई एश्योर आई शैल फुल्ली सेटिस्फाई ऑल माई सुपीरियर्स and leave no stone unturned. बाद में क्या होता है? बाद में most of them or some of them creates problem. तो वहां पे why they have transformed? When we are selecting one of the best. Sometimes onus should also be taken to industry champions who converted them into the worst. Either we have not taken care of, or we have not given the certain stimuli, or we have given them the bad company, or they are less engaged. So engagement is also very important. Creating sense of mission. मिशन का मतलब मेरे क्रिश्चियन मिशनरी से ही नहीं है. कोई भी आप मिशनरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन देखिए, चैतन्य मिशन, स्वामी विवेकानंद मिशन, रामकृष्ण मिशन, उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में आप देखिए कि आपको जाते ही एक अलग टाइप का फीलिंग होता है. Even to be very honest, you go in one government organization, one private organization. I have experience to serve in both the. You can easily identify this is the government organization and this is the benchmark for private organization. They are making their washrooms and toilets so clean, even people will be able to take lunch over there. And when you go in the government organization, most of, I am not saying exception is always there, so you can find it where the urinals are. So this is the difference we are feeling. So sense of mission to be created. People should feel this is my organization, this is my factory, this and belongingness should be there. only we are talking theoretically. Practically, where it is, results are there. MBWA एक प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ाने का बहुत पुराना तरीका है. MBWA मैनेजमेंट बाय वॉकिंग अराउंड. पहले के जमाने में भी कहा जाता था उत्तम खेती मध्यम बान. जो खुद से खेती करे वही उत्तम है. मध्यम वाला उसको कहा जाता था कि जो ठीक है सुपरविजन में कराए. इवन टाटा हैज डन अप्रेंटिसशिप. ही हैज वर्क लाइक ए वर्कर इन हिज ओन फैक्ट्री. दैट्स व्हाई दे आर टाटा. अभी टंडन साहब हैं, टाटा मोटर्स के बारे में बहुत सारा उन्होंने बताया. विजनिंग एक्सरसाइज. समटाइम्स टू अवॉइड द स्टेगनेंसी हमको विजनिंग अपना करना चाहिए कि क्या है हमारी, क्या पोटेंशियल है, क्या कैपेसिटी है, वेयर वी आर एंड वेयर वी हैव टू गो. क्रिएटिंग द पैशन. ये एक L&T नाइक का एक मेरे पास था, वो इसी प्रेजेंटेशन में है. वो मैं माथुर साहब से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि सबको डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देंगे, क्योंकि रीडिंग विल टेक अनदर 3 minutes because it is 2 pages. He is the person who is not IITian and who could not be selected in a company because that company only has the IITians. And rest is the history, you know. In entire life, he has not taken a single leave. You forget about the holidays, even on Sundays and holiday he used to work. आप सबको जान के आश्चर्य होगा, जब आदमी रिटायर हुआ तो उसके हॉलीडे का जो सैलरी था, it was more than 33 crores. And that's why he created the L&T as a known as Nike and Nike L&T. Optimizer, so many theories I think our learned faculties has already shown, so these are the very traditional one. But we have worked on it. 6-0, recycle, reduce, this thing, 0 defect. So in industries, 5 years. In Birla we have implemented 5 years, and that is certified by QCFI, Quality Circle Forum of India. हैदराबाद से श्रीवास्तव जी आते थे, हम उनसे ये कराते थे. और इसके ये सब करने के बाद में भी अगर सफलता नहीं मिल रही है, तो मेरा ये कहना है कि चरे वेद प्रिंसिपल अपनाइए. समटाइम्स साइनोसाइडियल इंडस्ट्रीज ग्रोथ टेक इन साइनोसाइडियल वर्क, लाइक सीमेंट इंडस्ट्री, शुगर इंडस्ट्रीज, ये कभी ऊपर जाती हैं, कभी नीचे आती हैं. तो इफ यू आर डूइंग योर बेस्ट, बिलीव ऑन गॉड एंड योर सेल्फ, योर टाइम विल कम. सो दैट्स ऑल फ्रॉम माई साइड. So another a few presentations were there. So it is in slide. तो वो L&T नाइक वाला आप चाहे तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करा सकते हैं सर. So any जी सर.
What is the difference between continual improvement and continuous improvement?
Continuous improvement and continual improvement में difference ये है कि suppose करिए कि हमने एक leap लिया, अचानक लिया, और वो सब कंटिन्यूअल होना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा उसके बाद में
हाँ.
कंटिन्यूअस आप जा नहीं सकते, तो स्लिपेज के चांसेस. प्रोग्रेस
नहीं, काइजन तो यही कहता है सर, कंटिन्यूअस इम्प्रूवमेंट. I think Mr. Tandon will agree with me.
उसमें सस्टेन नहीं कर पाएंगे.
हाँ. Okay. 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 Okay.
कंटिन्यूअस आप ऐसे समझिए साहब, कि आप सीधा इधर से गए, यहाँ से ये चढ़ना आसान है.
हाँ, कि एक एक स्टेप लेके चढ़ना आसान है.
स्टेप इज कंटिन्यूअस.
अच्छा.
And that leap is a big leap is a continue. अब कितना कब तक कहीं तो सांस लेंगे, थक जाएंगे. So continual progress, sustain, progress, sustain, maintain.
Okay.
Otherwise टॉप पे जाएंगे तो स्लिप हो जाएगा. स्टेप्स होने चाहिए, कर्व्स नहीं होते, पोल्स नहीं होते. मतलब बाकी तो आप लोग प्रैक्टिकल लोग हैं. या एनी मोर क्वेश्चंस? देखिए, हम इंडस्ट्री में करीब, हमने भारत सरकार के, हम तो गांव के किसान के लड़के हैं, हमने उस जमाने में 96 में हमने भारत सरकार का जॉब छोड़ दिया. क्योंकि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में मैं था, वहाँ काम बहुत कम होता। मेरा बॉस पूछा, मैं शॉप फ्लोर इंजीनियर से कैरियर शुरू किया और 1 साल करने के बाद में मैं सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूट फॉर रिसर्च और टेक्नोलॉजी करने लगा। भाई बॉस आपकी बहुत प्रैक्टिकल चीज में बता रहा हूँ कि अच्छा यहाँ से बोलेंगे तो सुनाई पड़ेगा। यादव कैसा लग रहा है? मैंने बोला बिल्कुल बेकार लग रहा है। बोले क्यों? मैं बोला यहाँ तो कुछ काम ही नहीं है। अच्छा हम क्या शिफ्ट में काम करते थे जब शॉप फ्लोर पे थे, और वहां पे जाके मतलब 6 घंटे में, अच्छा मेरा एक चीज और था जो 18 घंटे 14 घंटे पे काम आया था करने का। अगर कोई 8 घंटे में 6 घंटे भी ढंग से काम कर देना, दैट इज मोर देन इनफ। इवन 8 आवर्स पीपल डोंट वर्क। तो मैं तो जो है कि काम करने के बाद में फिर वहां पे बुक्स ले जाके पढ़ता था। माई बॉस आस्क व्हाट हाउ यू आर फीलिंग? मैं बोला नॉट सो गुड। ये 1986 की बात है। तो बोले क्यों? मैं बोले यहाँ तो कुछ काम ही नहीं है। बोले गवर्नमेंट में ऐसे ही होता है। तो मैंने बोला कि अगर, तो बोले अगर ऐसा बोलोगे तो तुम्हारी पोस्ट एबॉलिश हो जाएगी। टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, उसमें मुझे एबॉलिश की मीनिंग नहीं मालूम थी। मैं घर पे आया, भार्गव की डिक्शनरी उठाया और एबॉलिश की मीनिंग देखा तो मेरे को खत्म हो जाएगी। तो माई बॉस वाज, वो इतना परेशान रहते थे, बोले यार इसको कुछ काम दे के जाओ। एंड आफ्टर 10 years आई लीव। देन बाकी 38 साल सीमेंट में, मतलब टोटल 42 साल के आसपास रहा मेरा। 28 साल सीमेंट में रहे। अब सीमेंट में रहते रहते सीमेंट हो गए। बट कई बार लगता है कि छोड़ के गलती किया, कई बार लगता है कि अच्छा किया। आज छोड़ा नहीं होता तो माथुर साहब के सामने नहीं होता। हाथ धोते थे, ये सब करते थे। और फिर जो है 15 मिनट पहले से तैयारी होती थी उनकी लंच लेने की, और 15 मिनट बाद आते थे। ये वहां पे एक एचआर हेड थे बनर्जी साहब, ही यूज्ड टू शेयर दिस स्टोरी। तो कई चीज में इंडियन आर एक्सेप्शनली गुड, लेकिन हमारा जो मासेस है, देयर इज नो डर्थ ऑफ, बोलते हैं ना, देयर इज नो डर्थ ऑफ जॉब्स, देयर इज डर्थ ऑफ गुड पीपल।
Yes.
हमारे पास आदमी की कमी नहीं है, but we need the quality person. Everything goes around the quality, cost, time and quantity. ये अगर 4 किसी एमएसएमई ने, ये आप लिख लीजिए लगे तो, 4 पैरामीटर हैं, ये आपने 4 कंट्रोल कर लिए। 4 में हम कहते हैं इवन एक भी कंट्रोल कर लिया ना, तो यू कैन टेक लीप एंड बाउंसेस। क्वालिटी, कास्ट, टाइम एंड क्वांटिटी। अच्छा, इंडिया में इवन अभी प्रोडक्टिविटी भी इतनी बढ़ गई है, हालांकि स्कोप होने के बावजूद नहीं। रियल प्रॉब्लम इज मार्केटिंग। कास्ट मतलब कीमत, जो आपकी लागत है। कीमत, सॉरी कीमत तो प्राइस हो गया, कास्ट लागत आपके जो। तो ये 4 पैरामीटर्स के इर्द गिर्द सारे जितने भी प्रेजेंटेशन हैं, वाला पैसे का विज्ञान वो विज्ञान है जिसके चारों तरफ सारे विज्ञान घूमते हैं। तो चांडक साहब आए, बता के गए ही गए। बट इफ यू कंट्रोल दीज 4 पैरामीटर ना, एवरीथिंग यू कैन डू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So, yeah, thanks, sir.
Now we conclude to our session, and because we have a very few members here, and एक big thanks, एक तालियां अपने लिए खुद के लिए, because आप starting से end तक we are with us, so thank you for being with us. And for the vote now, I will request Mathu sir to present token of appreciation to Mr. R.C. Yadav sir. Have not joined us today, they missed many important sessions. And now I will request Keshav Mathu sir, Vice President Laghu Udyog Bharati, to kindly come for the vote of thanks.
आज शाम को हम लोगों के साथ नहीं रहे, हम उनसे यही कहना चाहेंगे कि गुरु मंत्र जो आज मिल रहे थे वो उन लोगों ने मिस कर दिए. आई थिंक इतनी अच्छी प्लान करी थी इवनिंग, जिसमें लगभग इंडस्ट्री के हर टॉपिक का कवरेज था और सभी लोगों ने निचोड़ अपने अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस का बहुत अच्छा दिया. I will thank all the speakers and all those who are attending still, and will not delay any further and request them to join us for dinner. Thank you everybody, and thank you so much.